Good evening, everybody. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in all around Australia, all around the world, across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. This is the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and Wednesday Night Motorsport on SimShed Broadcasting. I went for the shed first. Hey, this is Remembrance Day 2020. It's round 8 of the Hunt Day Pilot Series into the Racecraft Porsche GT3 Cup. And we are at the Temple of Speed that is Monza in Italy, continuing our Italian swing of this championship before we head down under to complete the final rounds of the season at Phillip Island and Bathurst respectively. Good evening, everybody. Zach Caban alongside Nico Pop and Paul Nichols. Welcome to Wednesday Night Motorsport on SimShed Broadcasting for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We're here with thanks to the great people at Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker, Gander, Oculair, Flash Graphics, Simple Sim Computer, Stone Cold Racing, and we are looking forward to what should be an awesome night of entertainment here after what was a pretty good night out on Monday night at Donington Park, particularly intro to Wings. Paul Nichols, good evening to you. Wednesday Night Motorsport, Monza. It's the recipe for, well, speed and potential carnage as well, because that first corner is always a trouble point.
Yeah, absolutely. This first chicane is going to be a trouble point. I'm going to do a pre-race announcement in a couple of minutes and just let people know to you probably want to break about 50 metres earlier than you normally do, because there's going to be a concertina effect there. So I will do that pre-race announcement. Hopefully, we'll get through there. I think the GT3's the Pro-Am split did a really good job last week. So hopefully we can get it through to everyone and take their time. Mikey Hammond, Hammer Time, up the top there, 157.3. Brett Selby-Wood, 158.4, and myself, hey, I've got to give myself a plug, 158.5.
Why not? You'll see the totem pole there at the left-hand side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, not with times at the moment, just letting you know who's in what car, of course, the TCR cars down the bottom there with the Audis, and of course the GT4s, the mix of Porsches and BMWs. Nico Pop, good evening to you. The hero of last week, he won in the absence of Michael Hammond and Ben Snell. Michael Hammond's back on the grid, but no Ben Snell, no Brenton Hobson. Good sign for you. But Brett Selby-Wood, Paul Nichols and Daniel Green to overcome first, judging by qualifying. Mate, how's things?
Snelly's in here, but I'd rather be an anti-hero. So thank you, appreciate it. But I'm not finding too much speed tonight, so I'm just on the verge of, what am I, 5th? So, I can't bust out of I'm kind of stuck in a bracket of time there, so I can't bust it.
Drop your wing to 1.
I'm already done that. I'm, once again, as everybody knows, who's listened to me over the past, 8 months now? I'm in it for the long haul, yep. So avoiding turn 1 silliness, keeping my eyes around, and yeah, let's see if I can stun these guys with some strategy. 2021
well, this is exactly right. 40 minutes around here. Lap times in that 158, 157 bracket. So, well, depending upon how much time you lose in the pit lane will depend on whether it is 20 or 21. It could just be 21 and it could just be 20. It's one of those touch and go sort of situations. And, of course, if we do have interference from a safety car, well, all hell breaks loose, all bets are off. Now, Michael Hammond on top, as Nick said there, and Paul as well, 157.4, Brett Selby-Wood, 158.4, so Hammer back in the server after a week off, straight back to the top, and looking down through the order, Dylan Gray's also in our commentary booth tonight. He's sitting 11th at this point in time. Angus Cook down in 15th. Good field, in fact, 26 in the server, 21 have set times. One of those that hasn't set a time is Ben Snell, so good to have Snelly in after a week off. But I assume that he'll go out, lay down a number, and then do the usual burn from the stern, Paul Nichols, just to prove that it can be done.
Yeah,
watch him make a mistake.
Yeah, if he gets an off track, it's going to be critical. He'll have to start from pit lane. So
yeah, you can't get any off tracks, can't get any incident points. Your qualifying laps have to be clean.
Okay. We'll wait and see what he punches out here, Ben Snell. Maybe he's saving the best until last to go to the top and then challenge Michael Hammond from the front. Maybe he's going to attack it from the rear. We'll wait and see. We'll get a clear indication about 45 seconds from now. The Hyundai Pilot Series Championship points, Ben Snell on top with 152. Nick's on 138 after that win last week, and 136 for Michael Hammond. Angus Cook, the best placed TCR, on 102. Then Kester Ward on 100. Paul Nichols on 90 and Brad Clank on 82. 79.5 for Scott Rankin. 76 for Julian Muckey. 75 for Joe Baldwin. That makes up the top 10. So just the two TCR boys in the top 10 there at the moment. Sorry, three, I should say, with Julian Muckey. But that's not to be unexpected, of course. Ben Snell is down. Red boxes to the first two sectors. So it looks like that is the plan of attack for Benny Snell. Attack it from the rear. We'll see how he goes around the last corner onto the main straight.
I don't think that's my choice.
No. Jag is out here. The session is done. And Ben Snell,
Oh, wow.
150...
No, 2 minutes.
2
No, 2 minutes, point four.
Yeah.
2 minutes, point four. Wow. I was expecting it to be 59, 58, but no, 2 minutes, point four. He's 3 seconds off Hammer.
It is
Now,
tight.
again, was he sandbagging? Was it tactics
exactly.
or play?
To be fair, it is tight. You got a 58.4 in second to 6th
Yes.
58.9, then you got 59
Yeah.
flat from 7th back to, where are we, Reese Belitho in 13th. So it's tight. It is tight for the amount of cars we have.
Indeed. So that time put Ben Snell in 14th. So we won't quite be burning from the stern, but he may as well be. Paul Nichols, your plan of attack here, please.
As usual, it'd be nice to be top 5. I've got some fast guys behind me.
Yes.
Nico Pop's obviously consistent, so got to stay on track. And let's get to the finish. Hey, there's a long and Benny Snell from the rear. Let's watch what he does, and hopefully Mikey runs out of fuel or puts it in the wall.
Oh, jeez.
I love the guy, but you know.
Wow. Nick, your
Desperate
plan
for
of
a win,
attack?
mate.
Are you
top
doing
five
a visual
incidents.
run until attempted?
Top 5-0 incidents. I'm not sure. I want to see what the rest of the crowd does. You know me, I'm like a salmon. I swim against the current. So, yeah, we'll see if everybody's continuing on, and I've got some pace. I might pit just to get out of traffic, but
For sure.
I mean, you look at it, 58.4, 58.5, 58.6, 58.8 to me. So it's only 4/10. I could have mucked up one of the chicanes a bit more, whereas Michael Hammond's another second in front of that. So I don't think we'll get to him until his tyres start wearing. So once again, top 5, 0 incidents, play the long game. I'm going to have my eyes and my mirrors just as much as my on my front windscreen going into turn 1 and the second chicane too.
For sure. Dylan Gray, good evening to you. You're sitting down there in 11th after qualifying. What's your plan of attack for the next 40 minutes, mate?
Pretty much if I have to pit 9, refueling the car like last week.
Yes, that's exactly right. Good to have you three on board as per usual. Looking
Good to
forward to a
have you,
big night of
Zach, on
racing
board.
here. Good to be here. Even though it's Origin night, it's good to be here. Of course, we'll have Origin updates for you throughout the evening as well, folks. There's the track map.
to have-
There's the...
Good
yes,
to have
Nick?
JP as well.
Absolutely. JP on a Wednesday night. Simshed Broadcasting. Good to have him on board. Of course, Adam Lavis back on, I'm not sure if he's back next Wednesday night or whether we're doing the same arrangements we did this week. That's all going to be confirmed in due course. Now, let's have a look at the info here. It's all on your screen there. 5.79 kilometre course, 11 turns. The date is set to Remembrance Day 2020, of course, lest we forget. Very nice to see the observances in COVID fashion around the country this morning. 10:30 track time. Now, where's that put us? We're about an hour ahead of where Monza is at this time of the day. It's about 9:30 local time in Italy at this point, but it's 10:30 sim time.
You're in Queensland or New South Wales, doesn't it?
No. Trust me, it's all good. I'm already on top of that.
Start him
23.
far out.
Don't start me. We're only 5 minutes into the night, for Christ's sake.
Had to start.
23 and partly cloudy, 24 track temp, and of course it's a partly cloudy day. Winds northeasters to 7 kilometres and 8 kilometres an hour. The race 40 minutes. Pit lane speed 64 k's. Pace car speed 67 k's. And of course the incidents. Well, the penalties will come at 17x, and then every 5x after that. There's one fast repair limit as well. I think that's all the information I had to get through there. 35% fuel tank capacity on the TCR cars. And there's the grid on your screen. Michael Hammond and Brett Selby with the front row. Look at that margin for Hammer, though. 1.03 seconds. Paul Nichols and Daniel Green, the second row. Great effort from Nico. Let's see if he can convert, because we know that's been an issue sometimes in the past. Nico Pop and Jared Daly, third row. Russ Green, rather, and Chris Stark, the fourth row. Scott Rankin and Doug White, the fifth row. Dylan Gray and Josh Miller, the sixth row. Over the page. Seventh row is where you'll find Reece Belitho and Ben Snell. Eighth row, Wayne Visser and Angus Cook. Ninth row, Richard Hunter and Grant Gill. 10th row, Jonathan Turner and Julia Mucky. Josh Maynard and Marty Hughes, the 11th row, and Jason Dunn and Jason Lee round out this field. Anyone behind Jason Lee obviously hasn't set a qualifying time either, so anyone, Jason Lee and, well, there'll be Josh Thomas and also Michael Hisco if they have, if they're going to join us, they're going to start from pit lane. Nick, as much as I'd love to see you go back-to-back on Italian soil, lovely performance last week, as we said. If you don't win tonight, is it Michael Hammond all the way?
It looks like it at the moment. I'm waiting for that Milo car to come up behind me in my mirrors, so we'll see. We'll see. Anything can happen.
And well, this is exactly right. And Paul Nichols, we saw last week in the GT3 series on the Monday night, it's not easy to overtake around here, so Ben Snell's going to have his work cut out for him from 14th.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tough job for him from being back in 14th with... I mean, your draft will help. Obviously, you can probably stick it up on the inside turn one through the chicane, so let's see how he goes.
Yeah, draft's going to be...
See how he goes, indeed.
Key to the race is draft is going to be a big thing. And the one that I would say every week is staying out of trouble.
And that's easier said than done. So we're going racing on a Wednesday night from the Temple of Speed from Monza in Italy. It's great to have you with us wherever you're tuning in. We're here with thanks to LJ Hooker Gaindar, Central Coast Subaru, Oculair, Flash Graphics, Simple Sim Computers, Racecraft, and also Stone Cold Racing. And, of course, the Racecraft Porsche GT3 split coming up for you in just a short while. Michael Hammond and Brett Selby with the front row. Paid towards pit lane. Race will get underway. 40 minutes around here. 20 to 21 laps ahead of us. On a beautiful Wednesday night, wherever you're tuning in around the country. Origin and WBBL updates as we go throughout the evening as well. But our focus is motorsport, and we're racing at Monza. Green flag flies. Michael Hammond leads the field cleanly. Over the start-finish line, he's already put 3 car lengths on Brett Selby Wood in the chasing pack. On board with Paul Nichols, who's already aggressive up on the outside. Selby Wood as they run down to turn 1 now. That's tactical because if he can hang there, he'll be on the inside for turn 2. But he yields. And Brett Selby Wood comes across to cover the line as they head through. Trouble on the exit. Nico Pop's being caught up. We'll have a look on replay. Now, I don't want to say anything just yet. I want to see the replay here firstly.
People not
He's
using
done a
their
very
eyes.
nice job of his new profile photo as well. We might. Sorry, what was that, Nick?
People not using their eyes. Yeah, I got tapped, but I didn't have to get run into by the rest of the field.
Gotcha. Yeah, my Discord screen was playing up just a little bit there, so I only caught part of that, but it did look like he got turned, so unfortunate for Nick. He'll now be trying to fight his way back through as the race goes on, but I'll give you the tip. If you can follow... Unfortunately, he's already put some good distance between himself. So, in the early stages here, Michael Hammond leads. Now look at this on the outside. That's a very nice start from Ben Snell, up to 7th already. He started 14th. And he's... What a start from Ben Snell. Brilliant stuff as they head down the back straight for the first time. Now, apologies. Everything's going to hell at my end tonight. Monday night it was Adam Lavis. JP had an issue with Discord before we got on air. Now mine wants to play up because timing's about half a lap behind. So we'll come round onto the main straight here. Dylan Gray's made a good start as well. Sitting down there in 9th. So Chris Stark's in there to have a look at this on the main straight. Jerry on the inside. Nice. So the first lap's in the books. Russ Green and Co getting through there. Jared Daly a nice start. Ben Snell in 7th already, and with clear track in front. It's dangerous when Snell gets clear track in front of him. This early, he's only got to get by another 5, and then he can begin the chase of Michael Hammond. So yes, he was sandbagging during that qualifying run. We suspected that would be the case, though. Scott Rankin a nice start. Sitting back there in position number 9 at the moment, following Dylan Gray through. Behind him is Chris Stark. Thankfully, timing's back, wanting to play ball at this point. So, Daniel Green and Russ Green was that battle that you saw on screen there, 4th and 5th. And it was Russ Green who was getting by Jared Daly. My apologies, not the other way around. So we'll tidy a few things up here now with everything back working as it should be, and we can keep our fingers crossed that it remains that way for the rest of the night. Chris Stark's wide there on the exit of turn 6 as they headed down the back straight, but all is well. He was able to get back on the circuit. So Hammond, Selby Wood, Nichols, then the 2 greens, Daniel and Russ. And look at this freight train of cars. Ben Snell sitting in 7th. And look at him closing in on Jared Daly. Can he get enough of a draft off the back of the Parabolica onto the main straight here? Is he close enough? Will it be turn 1? Will it be turn 4? I think it's going to be turn 4 at this point. He's not going to be close enough when they get to 1, despite the fact that he is clawing the gap back under the slipstream there. But all is well. All right, now that things have settled down a little bit, Nick, the monitor shows you in 21st. What's the plan of attack from here? Have you had to go in and take your
Find the person who hit me.
Yes, find the person who hit you and get square.
Oh yeah.
I like it. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm all for a little bit of get square. That's how I like to
That
operate.
was stupid.
Well, this is true.
I was already clear
Snell,
through the corner, and he just
hope
drove
we're
straight
watching him
into me.
now.
He didn't
So-
brake, didn't take the second part of the turn, just drove straight into me.
Telling it like it is. Have a look at this. I'll come back to you, Nick. Watch Ben Snell down there on the inside. Nicely done. Straight by on the inside of Jared Daly. Job done up into P6. Next target, Russ Green. Then Daniel Green. 4th and 5th, they are the 2 greens. And Benny Snell is charging for them. But Russ is going to be far easier to catch than Daniel, because Daniel's about 5 seconds up the road. Paul Nichols, you're sitting pretty in 3rd at the moment. I mean, Daniel Green's closing in, but you're holding him off. You've got him. You've got his measure at the moment.
Oh, I'm just taking my time at the moment, just driving a little bit Miss Daisy and get through these first laps, get the tyres up to temp, and hopefully people make mistakes around me, and let's. I mean, top 5 would be fantastic. No Benny's behind me, so.
For sure. Across the line, Hammer Time completes lap 3, and does so with the 1:58.21. So new fastest lap there for Michael Hammond. Selby Wood 2nd, Nichols 3rd, then the 2 greens, then Benny Snell and Jared Daly. The totem pole at the top of the screen now will slide across and show you who's who with our different race numbers there. Have a look at this. This is Angus Cook on the inside of Julian Mucky here. He's actually having a good run in the TCR. This is 1st and 2nd in the TCRs. Now, normally, we'll see the TCRs, particularly of Cook and Clank, sitting up there in amongst the GT4s. But tonight, they're buried well down. So obviously, this is a circuit that's a clear advantage for the GT4s as opposed to the TCRs. Now, just on that note, I wanted to have a look and see where Brad Clank was sitting here. And for whatever reason, I can't find him. So Now it's interesting because obviously Clank's absent tonight. Now that means that this is advantage Angus Cook in the championship. Because, oh no, speaking of which, there he goes, he's wide and Mucky's up on the inside. This is the lead change in TCR. Mucky on the inside of Cook. So no Brad Clank tonight. That's a big advantage for Angus Cook here.
Angus was
For
saying
a
pre-race.
variety of different reasons.
Angus was saying pre-race that it's just going to be a draft train. You just got to stay in the front train.
Yeah, particularly in TCR. I mean, not so much GT4, but TCR, absolutely. And we've seen cracking TCR races in that instance. Have a
I've
look
just
at
been
this.
taken out.
Oh.
Yeah, I guarantee it's the same car that hit me.
Oh, no, hang on. Let's just have a look at this, folks. This is Paul Nichols being taken out. Uh-oh. Bang. Just too deep under brakes. Just, and this is the thing too, right? I mean, obviously Nico is going to be able to get out of there and resume. That's fine. But the frustrating thing, Paul Nichols, and Nick highlighted this earlier, Nick's incident was corner number 2 of the race. Yours is lap 4. I mean, it's too early in a 20-lap race to be making dive bombs like that, I would have thought.
Yeah, can you tell me who that was?
Oh, someone's angry too. I'll just say, Nico, it's a green. It was one of the greens.
Okay, copy that.
Oh, don't worry. I'm making sure I get back up there. If I don't, I'm going to be sending them a very well-worded message. Just, I mean, I talk about it every week. I put it in posts. We say it in pre-race. Don't race at turn 1 if it's just high risk, and then yet people just charge in there.
I'll
Yeah, copy that.
I'll
I'm not
take
going to name names.
I'll take my guess at this point in time and just say that well-worded email won't be suitable for broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. So I appreciate that. 30 minutes left in this race.
Especially if you're new to the league,
screen that
you're
we're
trying to-
talking about.
If you're new to the league and you're trying to feel out the league and also understand how the league works, I don't think being super duper aggressive off the bat's going to help you, because we have a thing. If you redress it, it's not frowned upon as much. So I'm happy for them to stay up front because I know they're going to get a penalty.
So Daniel Green sits 3rd at the moment, but I will strongly underline that with an asterisk and subject to confirmation post-race, pending the stewards and everything else. Ben Snell, Russ Green and Paul Nichols are the next 3, then Dylan Gray. Dylan's close to within a second of Paul Nichols now, and Scott Rankin's not too far behind him, and Chris Stark as well. So Paul Nichols has gone from being a comfortable 3rd to having his work cut out for him with that chasing pack there. Here's Michael Hammond, though, at the front of the field doing what Michael Hammond does, leading from the front and going gangbusters. Now, he's not immune to road rage, as we say, but when he's got a clear track in front of him, he's one of the best in the club to watch. There's no doubt about that. 29 minutes to go in this race, and Michael Hammond has led every step of the way thus far. He's 5.6 seconds clear of Brett Selbywood, and then Selbywood's another 3 seconds back to Daniel Green, Ben Snell, Russ Green, then Paul Nichols, Dylan Gray, Scott Rankin, Chris Stark and Reece Politho making up the top 10, and we should point out too, Angus Cook is still leading in TCR, but he's sitting down in 14th position. So have a look at this. This is Chris Stark getting up there on the inside of Scott Rankin.
Jonathan Turner just made a mistake right behind Angus here, so I've just gone past. And now Angus has got a bit of a gap.
Copy that, Nick. Thank you. So that gap might serve Angus well in the long run when you talk about it being a draft battle. If you can break the toe, which is so important around here, so critical. That's Angus Cook for you. Geez, he's been the 4-man all year in TCR. Obviously, no Brad Clank really helps him out, but I was really looking forward to seeing that battle resume, actually, because it's been on in earnest for the last 7 weeks. Just a shame that Brad did no show tonight. Michael Hammer Time Hammond, fastest lap of the race. Shouldn't be surprised. 1:58.11 was the time. Sorry, we're just... I'm battling a couple of tech issues at my end. The internet's trying to play catch up at the moment with refreshing information as we go here. Now, probably because I've got 3 different live streams up and running with the NRL State of Origin, the WBBL, and also our Facebook live feed. But it is what it is, as they say. We're trying to keep across the best of everything that's happening tonight. I'll give you some WBBL updates in just a moment. It's been a big, busy couple of days there in Blacktown. Here's Paul Nicholls now. On the tail of Russ Green. A little bit wide, but going okay at the moment is Paul Nicholls. Trying to fight back into the top 5. Brett Selbywood, Daniel Green, Ben Snell, and then Russ Green. And in following Russ Green through here, Paul's managed to break the toe, so he's been able to get clear of Dylan Gray and Chris Stark. In fact, this is the closest battle on circuit at the moment by the length of the straight. Nick's under pressure from Jonathan Turner and Julian Markey, but all is well right there right now. Have a look at Paul Nicholls. All over the bumper of Russ Green here. Try to set up a move up there on the outside, heading down to the Parabolica. The end of lap 7. Michael Hammond into the 57s, a 57.89. Nico not game enough to send it there just yet. He'll follow Green down the main straight. Try and set up a manoeuvre for turn 1. Good defensive driving from Green here at the moment. All right. Down the inside. Got it. Job done. You were on board with him for it. Oh, he had it done, and then he's gone wide through the chicane there.
Slow down.
A slow down for Paul Nicholls. That will hurt him. That will compromise the speed round the back of the circuit, and Green's going to go back by here, I think, possibly. All that hard work from Nico undone, and Green back into position number 5, and Nicholls back to 6th. Unlucky, Nico. Now, we've got an incident to have a look at here, involving Marty Hughes coming into the Ascari. Oh, no. The car behind him has cleaned him up as he's gone sideways through the Ascari and had nowhere to go. That was Jason Dunn. Whoa. Those 2 cars will be heading back to the pit lane.
They've disconnected.
And using their fast repair. Or they'll disconnect, one of the 2. Now, Nick, on that note, how was your car after getting battered from pillar to post? Are you riding with damage at the moment?
Heaps of it.
But
I'm moving about the same pace as the TCRs, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate indeed. There's Grant Gill for Oculair. Sitting in position number 17 at the moment. Next target for him is Julian Mucky, but he's about 5 seconds up the road. Now, just having a look here at our actual in-race server. Yeah, both Marty Hughes and Jason Dunn, as Nick said, have disconnected. So too has Doug White, Jared Daly, and Josh Thomas had an internet dropout. But that was a little bit earlier in the proceedings, so that's why he didn't start. So already we've lost 3 from the field of 23 that started. And I just got a message there from Paul Nicholls about the internet dropping out. So unfortunately, I think Nico's had some issues as well. It's that sort of night. Everyone's
Oh, look, there's the car that hit me.
everyone's battling with the technology at the moment. No, Nick's getting ready for a get square. All right, let's.
I don't endorse that by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm leaving before him.
All right. I was
think
going to
it's a
say
stop and
That's
Can't fix.
it. Let's get our camera back to Nick if we can, and just have a look at what's going on there. You're watching Richard Hunter on screen at the moment. Good to have Richard Hunter actually in the server.
I don't think he's done GT4 since he won the championship, has he? I haven't
Well,
seen
that's
him
exactly,
on
yeah,
any grid.
100%.
It's
Now-
poetic justice, you know. You hit me at turn 1, and you're still 15 seconds behind me after the pit stops. Just saying.
And that pit stop, Nick, you'll be happy to know, is 49.3 seconds. So
Wow.
that was a very long pit transit, I should say.
Well, someone said it earlier today, but what goes around comes around, and I firmly believe in that.
Yeah, there's Michael Hammond in the pit lane. So on the subject of people that are in, Michael Hammond's in and out and gone. So Brett Selbywood leads the race from Daniel Green. Sorry, there's a lot going on here at the moment. Chris Stark's been in. His stop was 9.8 seconds. 9.02 seconds for Josh Millard. 8.95 for Mikey Hammond. 14.2 for Wayne Visser. 8.8 for Nick. And 49.3 for Russ Green. So I would hazard a guess that race control have had a say there.
I'm going to say he sped in pit lane. It's usually a 40-second hold if you speed.
That might be karma as well. Well, it's been one of those nights so far, hasn't it, folks? We're only halfway through this race. We apologise. We've lost Paul Nichols for the moment. We'll get him back shortly, hopefully. But he's out of the race because the internet's dropped out. That was the same thing that happened to Josh Thomas. Jason Lee hasn't gone anywhere tonight. It's been... and poor old Michael Hisco didn't get going either. So we are down to 18. The last of the runners is Russ Green. Josh Maynard ahead of him, then Nick in 16th. But Nick's now got a repaired car, so watch for the GT4 to start making his way back through. Brett Selbywood, Daniel Green and Ben Snell, 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. Dylan Gray sitting there in 4th. Michael Hammond is 5th. Now, Dylan, you're yet to stop, but you're sitting nicely there in position number 4. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, I am. I was looking forward to battling with Nico before he dropped it.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's one of the... that's... Nick, we say it all the time, that's the pain of the beast that is iRacing. Sometimes the mechanical side of things, and by which we mean technical in the iRacing in the virtual world, sometimes it just doesn't want to be your friend. And already tonight, Josh Thomas, Paul Nichols, victims of that.
Well, I call it an ECU failure. It's still your computer, so... and they can happen in real cars.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. All right, so 19 and a half minutes to go here. When the club is now scrambling to find someone for race control duties for the Porsche Elite Cup. So good luck to our hard dedicating and hard-working members behind the scenes here, because that was normally Paul Nichols' role. But obviously, with his internet, he won't be able to fulfil that tonight. 18 minutes, 55 seconds left. Daniel Green now the leader. Ben Snell 2nd. Dylan Gray 3rd. Michael Hammond 4th. Judging by the high number of pit stops we've seen so far, it would appear as though it's not going to be
You have to stop.
limp to the finish line. You are going to have to stop. So that will bring Ben Snell back to the pack very shortly. And he's only 20 seconds up the road. Not even that from Michael Hammond. So it's going to be Hammond in a canter tonight. Angus Cook's still the leader of the TCRs on corrected order once you take out the pit stops, although I don't think any of the TCR boys are yet to complete their stop. That's Ben Snell going through into the lead there. Let's watch him go into the pit lane, though, because he's in now to complete his stops. So he got to the front on the inside there. Actually, I'm just trying to work out whether... I think that might be Russ Green that he's gone past, not Daniel. Oh, no, it is It is Daniel. You're right. My apologies. So Daniel's gone through. He's maintained the lead now that Ben's come into the pit lane. But Benny Snell is now in and out in 9.6 seconds. Dylan Gray also in. He's out as well. But Michael Hammond leads this race. Reese Bolitho's gone through. And, the margin from Hammond back to Snell is about 16 seconds. So Hammond, clear favourite here at the moment. Here's Nick on screen there, going back through on the inside, trying to get by Wayne Visser at the moment. And Wayne's not making it easy. "17 minutes to go here. Hope you're enjoying Wednesday Night Motorsport for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting. Don't forget, we've got the Porsche still to come. Origin updates throughout the night. I've had to close my stream of the WBBL just so that the internet doesn't drop out at my end. But I will get you some live updates and some live scores from that as the night goes on as well. Of course, it's that beautiful time of the year where we transition from rugby league to cricket being the focus of television sport. And the BBL, of course, starting up on December 10. Now, Dylan Gray, Nico Pop and Zach Cabin with you in the commentary box. We've lost Paul Nichols for the night, unfortunately. Not much we can do there. Nick will be back with me in full commentary mode for that Porsche race very shortly. Here's Benny Snell all over the back of Brett Selby Wood. This is for track position, folks. This is for second, essentially, in the race. Selby Wood, all over the back of, all under all sorts of pressure, I should say, from Ben Snell as they head out onto the main straight. Selby Wood's had a great run so far tonight. He's been without luck in some races so far this year, but tonight might just change that. Across the line we go. Benny Snell up on the outside, job done. Benny Snell's going all the way through into position number 4. It's effectively position number 2 because of the fact that Daniel Green and Reese Bolitho are yet to pit. But Mikey Hammond sits there in position number 2 and will soon be the race leader whenever Daniel Green comes into the pit lane. Reese Bolitho is position number 3, but he too is yet to stop. Angus Cook sits 8th outright, also yet to stop. So too Jonathan Turner. Richard Hunter has just been in the complete his stop. Grant Gill yet to stop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars yet to stop here. And Ben Snell is a clear second in this race on corrected order. We wait to see. He won't be anywhere near striking distance of Michael Hammond, unfortunately, but what a great showing it's been from Snell to go from 14th through into position number 2. Green, Hammond, Bolitho, Snell. Up there on the outside, Josh Millard, shortcutting the chicane. He'll get a slow down for that. Sorry, it was Turner who shortcut the chicane as Millard went round the outside. There's Dylan Gray, still sitting 7th. The leader is in. Daniel Green in the pit lane right now. Oh, boy. Geez, there's some tension surrounding the post-race here. I'm looking forward to hearing some of the comments. Michael Hammond leads. And that should surprise no one. Daniel Green sits there in position number 2. He's out. Reese Bolitho's in. He's soon to be out. Now, can Green stay out and be ahead of Ben Snell? Yes, he can, I think. That's a superb performance.
He won't have the speed,
Daniel Green. No, well, this is right. It's only 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Ben Snell's clawing back the margin here. So Ben Snell should be in a position to, in 13 minutes' time, finish this race in second. Back to Angus Cook now. Michael Hammond, 8.95, and he stopped. Daniel Green, 9.43. 9.65 for Ben Snell. 11.08 for Brett Selby Wood. 9.58 for Chris Stark. 8.82 for Scott Rankin. So that 8 to 10 second bracket is about where everyone fits in.
Grant Gillian.
A long list of attrition in this race, of course, through crashes and other circumstances, and we've just lost Dylan Gray on that note. I hope it's not an internet issue at Dylan's end. We've got Nico Pop still here as well, who's trying to charge back through the field. You're almost back in the top 10, mate.
I am. I'm in 9th.
Oh, you are back in the top 10. Okay,
Yeah.
my screen's still having
Not
a little
updated
bit of
yet.
a. Yeah, no,
I
it's
want that 5th
and,
position, though.
and I'm using I'm using the live timing, so that bodes well for the rest of the night, doesn't it? So good to see Nick's getting back there.
Dylan dropped out. Internet.
Yep. Another internet issue. I tell you what, the internet's been the big winner tonight, hasn't it? It's claimed 3 so far. Thomas, Nichols, and Gray. Wow. Yeah, just here. Angus, the first of the TCRs, in 7th. You're still showing as 11th outright on our screen, Nick. So 9th in class. So there were just 2 TCR cars in the top 10 at the moment. Yeah, no, that's all right. You threw me with that because I was like, hang on, has my timing crapped itself again? No, it hasn't. It's all good. But your next target to get into the top 10 outright, mate, is Jonathan Turner, only 4 seconds down the road. So,
well, he just mucked up a scar.
And he hasn't stopped yet either. So, in fact, you should go back into 9th very shortly because both Angus Cook and Jonathan Turner are yet to.
Jonathan just mucked up a scar, so he's run down the back here. It's compromised.
Yep. He's holding onto the inside line to make you work for it, though, around the outside. We wait and see. Nicely done, Nick.
I'd say he's going pits.
He could be out of fuel. He's limping that slowly as they come round onto the main straight, into the pit lane. So Angus Cook and Jonathan Turner both in on this lap. Nick up into 9th outright. Very nicely done. 10 minutes, 40 seconds left in the race. 14.6 seconds in the books so far for Michael Hammond. Now, touch and go. I'll be interested to see where he is. Can he get back to the line before that 10-minute clock strikes? I don't think so. If we can get a shot of where Michael Hammond is on the track right now, JP, that'd be fantastic. There he is.
Disconnected.
Brett Selby Woods disconnected and out of the race. I'm not sure what that's about.
Another position for me.
But Nick's very happy. You might end up in the top 5 yet, just through internet issues and people dropping out. 30 minutes gone there. Now, Michael Hammond's times have been about the 1:58. I tell you what, he's getting back to the line now to complete lap 15. 30 minutes and 10 seconds. It's touching. Last time round was at 1 minute 59.14. So if he keeps at that pace, there's only 5 laps left in this race. But if he goes back to where he was earlier, if he can get back in the 57s, he'll sneak a 6th lap in. But at the moment, we're going to call it 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go. 20 laps is the expected journey here, the expected target. Thank you for that, JP. Back we go to Ben Snell, sitting 3rd at the moment, trying to track down Daniel Green. Margin is 3.1 seconds at the moment. Last time round, Benny was 0.06 of a second slower than Daniel Green's, if you can believe that. Now, Russ Green sitting 2 laps down at the moment. He's been in the pit lane again, by the looks of that. 2 minutes 29, the second pit lane transit. Wow. Well, when it's not your night, it's not your night. There's a few interesting stories playing out here at the moment. So Paul Nichols, Dylan Gray have both dropped out with internet issues. Brett Selby Wood manually disconnected. What else can we tell you tonight? So the man of the match, the driver of the night, might well be the internet servers of Australia. If it's not Michael Hammond or Ben Snell, of course. But that's actually, to be fair, as good as Mikey Hammond's job has been, Nick, I'm inclined to, if I give a driver of the night award, to give it to Benny Snell, because 14th to 2nd, we know that it's not an easy place to overtake on. Most of the damage was done on the opening lap. He went through to 7th in amongst your kerfuffle, but still, around here, 14th to 2nd's pretty good work.
Yeah, oh look, he's closing in on Daniel, and he's doing a good job, as you'd come to expect from Ben.
Exactly. Stick with us, folks. Porsche's still to come. We're here with thanks to the great people at Racecraft and Oculair and Simple Sim Computers. Also, Flash Graphics, Stone Cold Racing, Central Coast Subaru, and LJ Hooker Gander are broadcasting on SimShed Broadcasting this Wednesday night, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club from Monza in Italy, the Tampa speed that is Monza. Tonight it's GT4s and TCRs and the Hump Day Pilot Series into the Porsche GT3 Elite Sport. And we're really looking forward to that. Good to see, given that it is Remembrance Day. The players are on the field for State of Origin number 2, and there is a Remembrance Day observance being held, which is good to see. Of course, we missed out on our usual Anzac Day observances at the footy this year because we were in lockdown at that time. Anzac Day was a very strange one this year. 7 minutes to go. Michael Hammond is the leader. We've got 4 laps. This and 3 more to go. We'll get to 20. We won't get anywhere beyond that. The clock is going to expire on Michael Hammond as he comes around here. Daniel Green sits second. Ben Snell third. Chris Stark, Scott Rankin. Then Josh Millard. Hammer's about to come up and put a lap on Grant Gill. In fact, on that note, Josh Maynard will have gone a lap down. Grant Gill's about to go a lap down, so it's going to leave 12 on the lead lap here.
Just noticed Richard Hunter's leading TCR.
Actually, that's interesting. Yeah, something
Like
we've
3
missed
seconds.
in all of that. Now, for starters, I didn't know that he was running TCR, so apologies for that. That was an oversight on my part. And 2, I'm not surprised, because when he's been in these GT4 TCR races, he's always had the pace, particularly when he and Michael Hammond were dueling in GT4 on a Monday night in the second series of the, in the first series of the GT3, when we had GT4s as part of the show. So we know he's got a lead foot, and he's clearly put a marker here for Angus Cook to aim for, which is good to see. And again, that it goes back to the point of everything we've been talking about in the last couple of weeks, Nick. As we've gone through the season, people are improving. They're constantly raising the bar or having people raise the bar for them, and they're striving to hit new levels. And this here, Richard Hunter's performance tonight, will send a message there for, particularly Angus Cook. I was going to say Brad Clank as well, but he's not in the server. But this will really send a message the way of Angus Cook to say, well, hang on, I've got to lift my game here. I've got a little bit of time to find. I look forward to asking him about that post-race. Straight through the chicane goes Ben Snell. Cops a slow down for his trouble. And that might just put pay to his battle there with Daniel Green. And I apologise as well. I just got caught in my sentence structure there a few seconds ago, folks. But, Nick, if you're Angus Cook and you're looking at the fact that Richard Hunter's just come in, sat his bum in the TCR and gone straight to the front, are you thinking what I'm thinking, in the sense that Angus Cook will be looking to, lift his game a little bit in the coming weeks?
Looking to lift his game, but not too worried, because he's got to battle, what was it, the other guy's name?
Brad Clank.
Brad Clank, that's right, for the championship. If you look ahead to Josh Millard and Reese Belitha, they're battling, and I'm closing.
Indeed. So keep an eye out for Nick. There he is. On his way into the back section of the circuit once more. On the run down to the Ascari chicane. And then the run down to the Parabolica. It needs to, every lap from here needs to be clean for Nick. If he's going to be able to catch Belitho and Millard. They've just left the Ascari. Nick's just gone in. I think time's going to get the better of Nick here. He's only got 2 laps to go.
Well, I
But look
pulled
at that.
4 in the last 2 laps, so we'll see. I think I can get him.
Righto. Well, if they come together, you definitely will get them. Don't worry about that. Michael Hammond is 23 seconds clear at the front of the field. Daniel Green is 3 seconds clear of Ben Snell, so I think that battle's sorted now as well in favour of Daniel Green. Here's Ben Snell. Traffic coming up for Daniel Green, however, in the form of one of those TCR cars. I think it's Josh Maynard. So if Daniel can get through here unimpeded, that'll help him. But if he can't, it'll help Ben Snell. Look at it. Benny is closing the gap. It's definitely not 3.5 seconds now. He'll try and get the toe down to the Ascari out of the Lesmo, yet now he's got through. Nicely done. And Ben Snell's lights ablaze to alert the TCR car that he's coming through as well. So Daniel Green might just be able to pull this off and grab second here. But not with that one hell of a fight from Ben Snell. Last lap for Michael Hammond. He starts it now. He's running down to the main chicane there on the main straight. Meanwhile, Daniel Green, I tell you what, Ben Snell's going to give him a tremendous hurry up here on the last lap. And he's in the slipstream. He's in the toe on the main straight. This is the battle for second, folks. We'll stay with this. We will make sure that we get Michael Hammond crossing the line, but let's stay with this in the meantime. 1:24 on the clock. Clock expires this lap. Checkered flag flies. Last chance for Ben Snell to salvage second. State of Origin 2 underway. We'll get live updates for you as they happen. Now look at Ben Snell. Straight up on the inside. He got a beautiful run out of the chicane. And on the run into turn 3, Snelly goes to second. We were waiting for that. It's just been beautiful and clean from Ben Snell. Daniel Green put up a great fight, but it's to no avail. There is Michael Hammond, the race leader. 24 seconds to the good here. Just to give you an indication of how good that last lap was while Daniel Green was caught up behind the TCR. Benny Snell's margin was 3.5 seconds, or his deficit. It fast became half a second. He took 3 seconds out of him that last lap. Extraordinary. 20 seconds on the clock. Michael Hammond on the run home. Down to the Parabolica for the last time. Nick's got back to 8th. Again, not the position he'd like, but he'll be happy with the salvation effort, the rescue mission all the same. On the run through the last corner, the checkered flag will fly. Michael Hammond back on track, back in the winner's circle. No one's surprised by that. He wins round over the Hump Day Pilot Series from here. The Monza Circuit in Italy. And following him across the line there, in the end, I think it was Angus Cook actually, but I'll confirm that in a moment for you. Ben Snell comes round onto the main straight. He'll grab second. He held off Daniel Green after getting by there at turn 3. Ben Snell from 14th to 2nd. Great drive. Excellent stuff. Reese Belitho, look at this. This is the ongoing fight here with Josh Millard. This is for 6th in the race. Everything else is sorted pretty well, but except this. The run down to the last corner. Can Belitho throw anything at Millard, who's holding the inside line as though his life depends on it? Belitho wants to go around the outside. He's not going to be close enough. Oh, the up and under's going to get it done, though. Millard lost it in the last corner. And that is enough for Belitho to sweep through and grab 6th on the line. What about that? It wasn't the greatest race, but by gee, it proved entertaining in the last couple of minutes there. And just to confirm, that was Angus Cook that you saw following Michael Hammond across the line. Richard Hunter was the last of the cars on the lead lap. He comes round to get 9th in TCR. 9th outright and 1st in TCR. So the finishing order will come up on your screen in a moment. Michael Hammond from Ben Snell, Daniel Green, Chris Stark. There's Richard Hunter crossing the line now. So Hammond, Snell, Green, Stark, and Rankin the top 5. Belitho, Millard, and Nico Pop made up the top 8. That was the spread of the GT3 field, or 4 field, I should say. The TCR field. Oh, Grant Gill. Can you believe this? Grant Gill. limping down the. I think he's already taken the checkered flag, but he's limping down the back straight. So it was a tight fuel one, obviously, there in the end. Behind Nico Pop was Richard Hunter, who won TCR from Angus Cook, Julia Markey, Grant Gill, Jonathan Turner, and Josh Maynard. Russ Green ended 2 laps down in the end. Wayne Visser, a long list of retirement, started with him all the way through to Brett Selbywood, Dylan Gray, Paul Nichols, Jason Dunn, Marty Hughes, Jared Daly, Doug White, and Josh Thomas. What about that in the end? Look at those margins. 24.7 seconds for the winner, Michael Hammond, ahead of Ben Snell, and then Daniel Green, Chris Stark. They were the only ones within a minute of Mikey. Everyone else outside, and then, as we said, everyone from 10th down at least down a lap. Russ Green down 2 laps. So look at that. Let's rewind if we can and have a look back at the race start and a couple of other incident points. Of course, Paul Nichols incident as well. Even though Nico didn't end up being able to get to the end of the race because of internet issues, this was an incident that ruined his race, as it were. So we'll get a replay of what happened in the first corner and that kerfuffle in just a moment for you. But Nick, 8th in the end. Are you happy with that?
Somewhat.
Given where you were after lap 1?
Somewhat. I just watching lap 1 again.
Yeah, exactly. We're about to do the same here on the broadcast server. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's bring Benny Snell and Angus Cook in firstly. Angus, I'll go to you first and then I'll come to Benny Snell. Great to have you guys in the server and back on track, of course, particularly you, Benny, after absence last week. But Angus, Richard Hunter's come in and really raised the bar somewhat in TCR land. However, from your standpoint, you only had to be worried about Brad Clank. He wasn't in the server, and you've done everything you needed to do by finishing second, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers. I wanted to go out for the win tonight. Wanted to go out pretty big for a big win and get as far up as we could in the overall. Got to slow down on lap 1, which probably gave up about 4 seconds down the back straight to Richard, and then got 3 more on the first turn throughout the race, which just killed me because it's each of them about 1.5 seconds, but you end up losing about 3 or 4 seconds maybe. But I had the pace on him, so in an outright fight at any track, I'm pretty sure I could take him on.
All right. Yeah, no, that certainly contradicts what we were thinking here in the commentary box because we weren't sure what the issue was. And I was asking Nick whether it was a case of Richard coming in and maybe, saying, lift your game, boys. But no, clearly, when you look back at the qualifying pace, you had his measure by a 10th. So, obviously, just the cruel nature of Monza, if you get one corner wrong, particularly with so much runoff area, you cop a slowdown. It cruels you, doesn't it, for, not just 1 lap, but 2, 3, 4 as well.
Yeah, that's right. So through turn 1, you get about 1.8 seconds, which loses about 2 by the time, you get off the throttle and you lose your momentum. And then through the second chicane, if you hit that second one, considering there you've got the Lesmos, it's about a 2.5, 3 second slowdown. And you've got the whole back straight into Ascari, where you're just 3/4 throttle losing time. So, yeah, I'm not too concerned. I reckon I had pace on him by far, undercut him in the pits, so had a better strategy overall. And, yeah, we'll come back next week at Phillip Island and probably go smash the field. Hi, Mum, by the way.
Yeah, very nicely done. Now, I'll come to you in a sec, Benny Snell. Angus, stay there for me just quickly if you can.
Yeah.
We're just observing this race incident at turn 1. So Nico Pop and Russ Green here as they got through the first corner. It's coming along in very nice microscopic frames for you there, ladies and gentlemen. Clear contact there. Right front to left rear. And Nick's about to go spinning.
Yeah, Russ Green turned him initially.
Good evening to you, Chris Stark.
Boys.
How are you, mates?
Yeah, good. Not so bad at all.
I won't give any Origin updates while you're in here. I know you're a passionate fan of Origin, and we'll be going to watch that very shortly. But before you do, mate, what were your thoughts on your race tonight? Because you've had a good run this week. 4th has been consistent for you.
Yeah, it was working out that way. I got involved in that first turn accident. I didn't see what initially happened. Then I saw poor Nick sideways and everyone was just running into him. So I just watched the replay. He got turned. Then someone hit him in the front. Dales hit him in the back. Someone else hit him in the front, which fired him back in front of me, and I hit him in the back.
Yeah, Nick ended up being a pinata in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, and it made me slow for the first 8 laps, and I was deciding whether or not I'll go in now and do a double pit. So I just raced it to lap 8. I was sitting behind Nico and Dylan, just getting sucked along in their draft, and then I got the jump on Dylan at the pit, And yeah, the rest is history. People just fell off the track in front of me.
Indeed. Now, on that note, you're in the same position as Nick. You were sporting damage, but it was too early to go in for a pit stop. And if you had to do 2 pit stops, it would have cruelled your race. So you just had to compromise with a ruffled up little car there to get yourself to the pit stop, to get yourself to the fuel window, to then just hit the fast repair button.
Yeah, that was the way. I wasn't sure whether, because I changed my wing to a 4 just before the race, but I had a bit of vibration in my steering, so I wasn't sure if it was damage or the fact that I changed the wing, or a combination of both that made me slower. I think it was a combination of both.
All right, copy that. Let me just throw the conversation around to Benny Snell right now and say good evening to you. 14th to 2nd. Now, answer the question that was on everyone's lips at the start of the broadcast. Were you foxing a little on that qualifying lap?
Oh, no, I was just trying to do a lap, to be honest. I jumped in super late and definitely underestimated Monza. Went,
Yep.
it's just a couple of chicanes and some braking zones. It'll be fine, as I just bin the GT Porsche as well. So let me just reset that. So a couple of off tracks and a couple of incidents, I basically only had 1 lap. So I just trundled around, went, don't touch the grass, get a legitimate lap so I could start on the grid, and it happened to be a 2-minute lap, but that's what it was.
Indeed, and that's the thing too. Obviously, 14th, you moved up to 7th on lap 1, so you were the big beneficiary of the Dodgem cars that unfolded at turn 1 there with our poor mate Nick. But in saying that, it took you the rest of the race to work your way through to 2nd place. So the first 7 came easy, the last 5 not. So you were never going to catch Mikey Hammond. That was basically game, set, and match on turn 1. But you've got to be happy with getting 2nd on that last lap there, mate.
Yeah, definitely. I had a little bit of an incident leaving the pits. I was actually on 0x until my pit stop, and then coming out of the pits, I was side by side with Brett Selby Wood, and unfortunately we had a bit of contact, and I got a 4x out of that. And it's just one of those things. He turned in a little bit too early. I went a little bit too deep on the brake, so it was both of our faults. There's no one to blame on that one. But yeah, so I redressed that because I wasn't sure what happened. I thought I'd better play it safe than sorry, because I was very deep into the corner, so I let Brett through. Which allowed, the names escaped me. The guy that I was chasing for the last 5 laps, and I was just staring at his back bumper, but the name's eluding me right now. But I was really happy to finally get onto him, and I think he got himself a slowdown in the first chicane on the last lap. And he just let me through, and that was all she wrote. Indeed, and you mentioned that you're getting ready for the Porsches. What are your thoughts going into that, mate? Oh, I have no idea what's going on. I've been advised. All I know is I've got like 8 minutes to do a lap, so you might see me towards the rear end of the field on this grid as well. All right, mate. Well, I'll let you go and focus on that. Come back and have a chat to me after the race. All right, cheers, guys. Angus Cook's already departed. Chris Stark, I better let you go as well, because I take it you're doubling up again. Yeah, I'm just in a Porsche now. I was listening, so I can't move myself out if you want to dump me back. That's all right. Room. I can do that for you. Which room do you want to go into? The one where the 18 plus whatever it is. All right, no worries. I'll send you up there very shortly, or Nick can do it. But good luck with all of that. Are you in the elite or the pro? The pro end. I'm in the bottom split. You're in the bottom split. All right, come back and check in with us after the race. Let us know how you go. All right. Copy that, mate. Thank you. Now, where's the 18 plus? There it is. We'll fire him back up there. And that means that we'll head to a break here, folks, at this point in time. Good to have you company on a Wednesday night. Nick and I are going to refire the server, and we're going to get set to go. Porsche GT3 racing from the same circuit, the Temple of Speed that is Monza. It's Wednesday Night Motorsport. Mikey Hammond's got a win. Richard Hunter getting the win in TCR. Angus Cook had the same pace, had the ability to go with him, but slowdowns caught him in the end, and that was something I didn't take into consideration, so apologies for that. Let's take a break. Thanks to Stone Cold Racing. Thanks to also the great people at Flash Graphics, Simple Sim Computers, LJ Hooker Gaindar, Central Coast Subaru, Ocular, and Racecraft. This is the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and it's Wednesday Night Motorsport on SimShed Broadcasting. We come back with the main course, the Porsches from Monza, round 8 of the championship, very shortly.
Now that Chris Stark's no longer in the broadcast booth, as we welcome you back to Wednesday Up Motorsport on SimShed Broadcasting for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. I can give you an update from the State of Origin Rugby League, ladies and gentlemen. Good news for the Maroons early on. It is 4-0 in favour of the Queenslanders after 16 minutes, but New South Wales very much on the attack here in the, in striking distance of the goal line at this point in time. And they've just got a penalty. So New South Wales sitting there nicely at the moment on the attack, but Queensland ahead on the scoreboard in a do-or-die match for the Blues in State of Origin 2. Now, this... Oh, jeez. Fair income. What the hell was that? Good to have you company as we turn our attention to the Porsche GT3 Elite Pro Split. My goodness gracious me. That's, of course, proudly presented to you by the great people at Racecraft, and it's good to have them on board here as per usual. That was a hairy moment coming out of the Ascari, no doubt about that. We'll have Nico Pop with us very shortly. We're going to get stuck into a big night of motorsport here. Already one race in, one race to go. 45 minutes will be the length of this race. Now, if I bring the server up, I can tell you all the information that you need. Of course, it's a 5.79 kilometre circuit. There have been races this year where we've run the short configuration of Monza and the long configuration of Monza, of course. For what we just had, Porsche, the Hump Day Pilot Series, it was never going to work on the shorter circuit, so the longer circuit it was. 55% fuel limit capacity for these GT3 Cup cars. The setups are identical to baseline. There are unlimited tyre sets available in this race to these drivers. The weather, clear, 23 degrees, 26 on track. The wind's easterly now, 6 kilometres an hour. We've gone a little bit further into the day. Of course, Italy being 10 hours behind us, it doesn't quite work out as it was earlier. We're now 2 hours up the road. It's 8:35 Australian Eastern Daylight Time, so it's 12:20 sim time. So that's, again, about an hour and 45 into the future and where it actually is in Italy at this point in time. It's 10:35 in the morning over there. Good morning to anyone tuning in from Europe or America or Italy or wherever the case may be, Asia. Good evening, afternoon, and all that sort of stuff. Hey, 17X were the first incident count penalties, and then every 5X after that. Pace car, 6. He's got a 10th on the pack of Luke Turner, Rick Kuznetsov, and Jeff Connell, but there's only 15 hundredths of a second separating that 4. So for Hobbo to have a 10th on the pack is exceptional, considering that the next 3 are separated by less than half a second there. Or less than half a tenth of a second, I should say. It's 5 hundredths. It's extraordinary. Jackson Rayhana is 5th. Brady Sentence is 6th. John Merritt, Guy Leach, Rudy Cronstrom, and also Jaden Schmidt making up the top 10 at the moment. Only 21 in the split. 21 drivers have qualified. Nick Windsor, Joe Baldwin has just made it 22. He's just got back to the line to clock a time, 1:54.921, so he's going to be burning from the stern. Dylan Gray, not in the race. He's in race control for us in the absence of our good mate Paul Nichols, who's battling some internet gremlins at the moment. And also Nick Windsor yet to set a time as well and won't get a chance to. Joe Baldwin is our in-race reporter tonight, and he's starting from the back of the grid there. Joe, good evening to you over there in the west.
Yeah, no, you got me, have you, mate?
I have, mate. Good evening.
No, I've had big computer dramas in the last week or so. I had everything from scratch, so that's taken days to get organised.
I was going to say, you're not the only one. There's a few people battling internet troubles tonight, so computers are all the talk at the moment. Don't worry about that. 22nd, obviously, you can only go forward from there, mate.
Yeah, I literally got him with about, I think I got to the line with about 2 seconds spare to be able to just put in a banker lap, so I didn't start at the pit. So it was just all about not running off track. I've only just walked in the door from work. Of
course, again, another disadvantage of the time difference there. We'll get to the grid here in just a moment. It's going to pop up on your screen. Good luck with this, Joe. Monza's a difficult course, but it's all about getting through the first corner.
It certainly is. Yeah, I tried to get in and do a bit of practice, but I was just trying to get everything going last night. But look, getting through the first corner as I was watching the broadcast when poor Nico Pop got helped around the second turn in the last race. So, yeah, I'll be doing my best to avoid any of that sort of stuff. Hopefully, there's no shenanigans and
Start from
everybody
the
can
back
have a
or the
nice,
pits?
clean race. Yeah, starting from the back, mate. I've only just walked in the door from work, so we'll see what we can do from back here. Like we say, the only way is up.
Start from
Josh
the back
Thomas.
of the pits or go through the chicane. It's the only way
Yeah.
you're going to stay clean.
Yeah, that's it.
Just going to jump in here, fellas. Matt Robinson is manually disconnected despite being 20th on the grid. Josh Thomas has again had an internet dropout, so that might see him not start 21st. So, Joe, you might gain 2 spots before you start here, mate. Brenton Hobson and Luke Turner the front row. Rick Kuznetsov and Jeff Connell second row. Look at those margins. 0.15 of a second separating first and fourth. It's quite extraordinary. But Hobbo's got 0.09 on the pack, so it's really impressive stuff. Jackson Ray Hunter already sentenced to the third row. Then we go back to John Merritt, Guy Leach, then Rudy Quanstrom and Jaden Schmidt make up row 5. Maverick Benson and Angus Cook row 6. Row 7 is Tim Harrison and Paul Wood. Row 8 is Michael Hammond and Dave Trevathan. Interesting to see Mikey that far down. Ben Snell and Daniel Birchnell from row 9. Row 10 is Glenstead Everdell and Matt Robinson. Row 11, Josh Thomas and Joe Baldwin. And then we go back to Dylan Gray and Nick Windsor, who, of course, by the looks of that, non-starters. Should point out, too, if you're a State of Origin fan, New South Wales did strike back while on the attack down in the Queensland defensive half. It is now 6-4 in favour of the Blues in State of Origin number 2. And we are 21 minutes into the match. WBBL updates for you throughout the day. The Perth Scorchers defeated the Sydney Sixers, chasing 138 for victory. They got there with 5 balls to spare and 5 wickets in hand at the moment. The live match is the Brisbane Heat and the Sydney Thunder. The Sydney Thunder 9 for 111 after their 20 overs. Brisbane in response, none for 4, but 19 overs to go there. So we'll keep you up to date with the WBBL and also the State of Origin throughout the course of the evening. New South Wales have just gone over again here, so it could be 10-4 in just a moment, but I dare say the referee for once in his life, Nick, decided not to go upstairs to the video, and it's 10-4 in favour of the Blues. Who's going to win this race and why, Nick?
For Brenton Hobson. It seems to me that Monza here, if you got pace, you got a pretty easy time. It's going to be what happens behind him. And I do not envy these guys being in the pack.
It's a very deceptive place. It looks very simple on paper, but it's so hard to get lap time out of the place.
For sure. Righty up, getting set. We'll get your thoughts throughout the night. Joe, thanks for stopping by to be our in-race reporter. Let's get going here, ladies and gentlemen. Watch Jeff Connell, the championship leader from position number 4. Brenton Hobson to lead the third to green. The Racecraft Porsche Elite GT3 Cup Challenge on a Wednesday night for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting. They're gone! Great start, Hobson. Watch Turner immediately try and tuck in behind and get the slipstream on the run down to 1, and Hobbo's gone immediately to the outside. Now, is that tactical play to set him up for turn 1? Who wants to be a hero down here, or is everyone going to be a little bit steady on the gas? Through they go. Nice, clean start. What about that from Kuznetsov? Straight up there on the inside of Turner to go through to second. Very nicely done. Kuznetsov into second. Ben Snell's around on the exit of the chicane. Ben Snell is right at the back of the field. And look at this. The charge up to turn 4. Kuznetsov's going to hold on to second there. Turner on the outside wants to force the issue. Connell's going to be right up on his outside now on the exit and is. Connell's got through to third. Turner's been muscled out of all of that. Jackson Ray Hunter's going through as well. And I think Connell's pinched the brakes there, or maybe Turner. Turner's pinched the brakes there on the exit. Oh no, Turner and Connell come together. Trouble on the exit of the Mesmo. And that will mean that Jeff Connell will be right at the back of the field now as well.
So he's pinched the brake
Look
into
at
the
this.
first Mesmo. Jackson's through, and then somebody went down the inside of him.
Yeah,
and,
it's Luke Turner trying to go through.
oh, he's pinched the rear brakes.
Now, was there
Right, no one hit
contact? Oh,
I don't think anybody hit him, but it's all rear brakes, that one.
we'd have to have a look at the onboard from Luke Turner, but yeah, you're right. He certainly pinched the brakes. So
You got to
if he
run a lot of...
didn't get sent, he was already going anyway.
You got to try and get the brake bias off the front because they lock up the front so easy. So you got to run a lot of rear brake, and unfortunately, if you brake, turn, and downshift, that's the result.
That is
Wow.
the Achilles heel with this car, I can tell you. I think I adjust my brake bites about 4 times a lap here when they're cold. It's something you've got to do to be safe with them.
And it's interesting too because when we look at the track stats for the night, oh no,
Jeepers.
trouble at turn 1, look at that!
Teammate hits his teammate.
Wow! That guy Leach is in the wall.
There's my teammate. Far out.
Now, do they chuck a safety car and say, settle down, boys, or do they just let him go? I think they'll let it go. Have a look at this, again on replay. Oh, that was
I
Luke
predict I'm
Turner.
about to die.
Joe, you were up into 16th after lap 1. I'm just going to go into the live timing page now and see how you're going after lap 2 because it's looking pretty good for you. You just, as everyone's creating carnage in front of you. Oh no, hang on, was that Rayhana or Hammond that just went round?
Rayhana.
No, that's Rayhana that's gone round. Wow.
Let's see
My
that again.
goodness me. What drama here on the opening lap? Now this is going to be all Rayhana on his own here.
Too much curb.
Oh no. Wow. Can you believe that, Nick? And Rayhana is such an experienced campaigner. He won't be happy with that.
Oh, Michael Hammond's car's a bit narrower than normal. He's got a run here though. Luke Turner right in front of him, and he's got Glenn Sido Riddell right behind him.
I was going to say, Joe's having a Messiah-like run there, and all the rubbish is happening in front of him, and he's just coming through and picking up the pieces. So I'll be interested to see how it's all going after the second lap here. Across the start-finish line, Hobson, Kuznetsov, and Schmidt. The margin first to second is 1.9, and then it's another 4 seconds out from Kuznetsov to Schmidt. The first two are gone. Forget about them. Thanks to the incidents for Connell, thanks to the incidents for Leach, thanks to the incidents for Rayhana and everybody else that's been caught up in all the madness tonight, and Turner as well was in his own mess there. It's an extraordinary storyline what we're seeing here in the opening few laps. And Nick, we were talking about this being a critical round of the championship. Jeff Connell only had to, he didn't even have to beat Brenton Hobson tonight. He's got the championship lead. He's one of the guys that's now pushing it uphill for the next 40 minutes.
Yes. Oh, there goes Michael Hammond.
Oh, Michael Hammond's gone
There goes
now.
Snell. They did exactly the same
Snelly
thing.
as well. Right, that's the second time that Snell's come off tonight. The
They did
first time at
exactly-
that chicane.
They did exactly the same thing. If you watch here, Michael Hammond gets too much curb on the second part. Not the first one, you can take heaps, but this part you can't. Gets it onto two wheels, and then Snell does exactly the same and spins almost exactly into where Michael Hammond was. Synchronized spinning.
Straight across in front of him. Did well not to collect the front of Hammond, actually.
I know
So-
they race against each other quite a bit, but that's just taking it too far, boys.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, wow. Brenton Hobson leads from Rick Kuznetsov. Then Jaden Schmidt, John Merritt, Rudy Krons from the top 5. Angus Cook is 6th. And Joe Baldwin is now sitting 10th, thanks to Michael Hammond, coming off the circuit. This is madness. It's good for Joe. It's not good for the rest of them.
Was.
Oh, what happened?
Tim Harrison, Guy Leach. When Mikey went around, I just lost my momentum, and they got the draft on me, and but it's all right. We're back in the battle.
You are. We've got you on screen there at the moment. Third, fourth, fifth in line here on the run down to turn 1. Following Leach and Harris, and Leach getting up there on the inside of Harris. Oh no, sorry, Harris able to hold the line for the moment. So Leach in close pursuit and Baldwin in behind him. So keep an eye on that, folks. 38 and 3/4 minutes left here. And I feel as though we've had 45 minutes worth of action already. There's going to be a lot of replays coming your way at the end of this race, folks. JP's going to have his work cut out for him tonight. Don't worry about that. Now, Dylan Gray is sitting in the broadcast green room, so he'll have an update from race control. Let me bring him in. Dylan, you're sitting in race control for this race, mate. You've got an update for us, have you?
Yeah, I do. Car 3 and car number 98, turn 1.
Yep. Eddie
Drive
Sentence
through-
and Paul Wood.
Yep, drive through for car 3.
Okay. What was the extent of the incident, mate? Why was car 3 given the drive-through?
unsafe re-entry.
That'll do it. That will do it any day of the week. All right, mate, thank you for that. We'll let you go back to race control. If you can just click yourself back there, or do you need one of us to do it?
I need one of you guys to drag me down.
All right, no worries, and we'll chat with you very shortly. Thanks, mate. Alrighty, got it. It's good fun.
Looks like my team's going well tonight. Far out. I went to last. Paul Wood's pretty much last. Far out. Come on, team.
It's not been a great night, has it? Brenton Hobson, Rick Kuznetsov, John Merritt, Jaden Schmidt, Angus Cook, Dave Trevathan, Luke Turner. Then Rudy Cronstrom, I think, has come unstuck on that last lap, and he's fallen in behind Glenn Cedar Riddell. Guy Leach rounds out the top 10. Tim Harris, Jeff Connell, and Joe Baldwin's fallen back behind Connell. Now, Jeff Connell, he's got some pace, but we know what Jeff Connell's like when he's charging back through the third after an incident on the opening lap. He's driving with a head full of steam, and you don't want to get in his way, Nick.
Yeah, look, the only way is up, as Joe's put it, so keep your eyes peeled on him. We'll see where he ends up by the end of the race.
Yeah, exactly. So, car off. Straight through and across the curbs. That was Tim Harris. Wow. And Maverick Benson as well. They've both come unstuck at that point of the circuit. I don't know where to look when trying to sort out what's going on here at the moment. There's just too much happening. Brenton Hobson, though, leads by 0.9 of a second. So, I tell you what, keep an eye on Rick Kuznetsov. He's really giving Hobbo the hurry up, which is rare for anyone to be able to do that. Maybe Jeff Connell, Glenn Postlethwaite, but Rick Kuznetsov's having a real crack tonight.
Yeah, look, this is the closest fight on track, but if anybody's got live timing access, you can see there's actually not much gap between any of the cars. I think the biggest gap we can see is, well, there's 8 seconds there, up there from third to fourth, but everywhere else is no bigger than 2.3 seconds. So it's on for young and old.
Indeed it is. On for young and old in State of Origin 2 as well. Still 12-4 in favour of the Blues at the moment. I'll keep you posted as to how that goes throughout the course of the night, except when Chris Stark is in the chat room, folks. We're on lap 6. Lap 6 of, well, who knows? It's a 45-minute race. We got 20 laps out of the GT4 TCR race. And my best guess is that we'll probably get 24, 25 at most out of this GT3 race. As the case is, Nick, with all the circuits we go to, the Porsche's slightly faster here. Brenton Hobson lapping in the 1 minute 50 range at the moment.
Yeah, look, I think he's just going to drive away from the rest of the field. The rest of the guys are going to have to pick up their game and catch this fella.
Yeah, well, I got 24.54 laps if you go 45 minutes times 60 to get your second tally, divide it by 110 to get how long the lap is taking. So 24.54. Take into account a pit stop, we're looking at 24 laps. So 24 laps for this race tonight if we don't get the safety car on circuit at any point. Brenton Hobson, Rick Kuznetsov, John Merritt, Jaden Schmidt, Angus Cook, Luke Turner, Dave Trevathan. And a little bit of trouble there at the back with a lot of the boys abusing the runoff area on the exit of the Ascari, but that's not uncommon. Look at Rick Kuznetsov all over the back of Brenton Hobson. This is for the lead of the race, folks, and Kuznetsov's going for it down the inside on the run to turn 1. New race leader, Rick Kuznetsov, is in front at Monza. Now that's how you do it nice and cleanly, Nick.
Yeah, I just flicked over to Brenton Hobson's stream. He's pretty calm, so I don't know if it's if he's let him go by design, but good on Rick. Get in there and get some time in the lead.
Well, let's be perfectly honest. When you look at a couple of different factors here, A, Rick's been bumped up from, he started in the Pro-Am split, so there's not as much to worry about in terms of Rick as far as the title threat is concerned. B, Brenton is 22 points away from Jeff Connell. So if he's worried about Connell and trying to catch him, tonight's the night to go for it because Connell's down in 9th at the moment. So, but is the difference between second and first enough to worry about at this point? Probably not. Another car around. I think that might have been Rudy Cronstrom, maybe?
Yeah,
Riddell. Yep.
Oh, we just lost him. Look, there he is. He's back.
There he is.
Rear brakes again.
We're going to see that quite a few times tonight. It's been a telling factor right throughout the series. So Glenn Cedar Riddell dropping down the order. And I'm just struggling to pick him up on my leaderboard, actually. That's how far down he's dropped. Down to 19th in all of that.
You got Joe here on screen
It's frustrating.
Joe here with Jackson right behind him. Jackson doing his recovery drive.
Watch Jackson all over the back of Joe Baldwin now.
He is such a clean driver. I love racing with Jackson.
And he's down the inside of you at the moment, mate. I reckon you're going to let him go too. Nice executed move there from Jackson Rayhana to shuffle himself back up into 12th and Baldwin back into 13th. Trucker Joe's online for us from WA. He's our in-race reporter tonight, and it's great to have him with us. It was looking so good there, mate, but it's hard to stop these fast Top Gun drivers when they're on their way back through the field.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was doing pretty well in the second split. I was right up. I think I was leading the championship when I moved up here, and I maybe should have stayed there. But hey,
Well,
it was
Nothing
I'm not
ventured,
saying it
nothing
was
gained,
easy
mate.
in the other group, but we always like to challenge ourselves, So I don't mind coming up here and learning more. These are a car I've never excelled in, and I've learned a heap already.
I was going to say, it's that whole mentality, Nick, of whether you want to continue to be the big fish in the small pond or be a small fish in the big pond.
I'm always for small fish in a big pond, mate. See how you go.
Exactly.
But
100%.
once again, like I said to Joe, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you don't try something different, you're not going to gain anything. So good on you.
I just tried the wall.
I was just going to say, whilst we were talking to Joe there, he slipped down to 17th, 18th, 19th now, so 18th. So unlucky for Joe. But as you say, that's all part of the game, isn't it, mate?
It is, yeah. Hey, look, it's the same thing. The same thing just happened to me then. What's happened to, I think, 50% of the field tonight? I just pinched the rears. I braked a little bit late, just trying to hang with Jackson, and it's just like I say, they're not my car.
Yeah. Go easy, mate. We wish you well for the rest of the race. We'll check in with you as we go. Hopefully you can salvage something from 18th there, but thanks for stopping by and having a chat with us. Stay there. We'll continue to check in. Angus Cook and Luke Turner punching out their PBs of the race. Rick Kuznetsov and Brenton Hobson. 1 minute 50.49 plays 1 minute 50.50 last time by the line. There is nothing separating that top two. Rick Kuznetsov is here to play tonight.
Yeah, look, where are we? Just quickly click over to Brenton just to keep an eye on what's going on back there. But he's just keeping him in sight. So it's one of those ones. Is he playing with him, or is he letting Rick get all worked up and using up his tyres and the like, and then have another go? Or has Rick got genuine super duper speed that Brenton is not the fastest car on track?
Well, exactly. We'll get a real clear indication of that in the next short while. Unfortunately, things not looking good for the Maroons. They've just knocked the ball on in their own 20, and New South Wales are going to go on the attack right now. So 12-4 in favour of the Blues. State of Origin 2. We'll keep you abreast of all of that as the night goes on. 29 minutes to go here. Rick Kuznetsov leads from Brenton Hobson. You're watching John Merritt on screen there in third place at the moment. Under attack from Jaden Schmidt, who was very impressive last week, and Angus Cook as well. And then we go back to Luke Turner, Dave Trevathan, Jeff Connell, Guy Leach, Rudy Cronstrom, and Jackson Rayhana. That takes you back through position number 11 at this point in time. I said the Blues were on the attack. They're over the line, 16-4, so it's looking like a decider next week at Suncorp. But as I said last week, given that the Blues lost game 1 18-14 last year, look what they come back and did. I reckon Queensland are in trouble as far as this series is concerned. 28 and a quarter minutes to go. That might be it for the Origin updates tonight. Jackson Rayhana sitting there in 11th at the moment. Rudy Cronstrom, Guy Leach just ahead of him, but he's now into the pit lane, so he must be in that pit window, Nick.
Yes, so this is it. I mean, Injectors Online team cars coming in. So John Merritt, Jackson Rayhana, Brendan Hobson, Maverick Benson, Michael Hammertime Hammond. They're all in. If you can fit it in the tank, you
And
might
all
as well
in
do it.
so early.
Well, if you can fit it in the tank, you might as well get it done. If you're out of position, which most of those guys are. Looking at Rick's best lap time, he's actually 6/10 faster than. Sorry, he was a couple tenths faster than Brenton Hobson, and I believe he was just gapping him by like a tenth here and there every lap. So, genuine pace. But maybe that's why Hobson's jumped now to see if he can leapfrog him and get some get an undercut, so to speak. Rick's just got the track all to himself. Far out. Look at the track map. Cars leaving pits are the next cars in front of him, and he's got second place, Jaden Schmidt, 12.8 seconds behind. He's driving very well. So I believe, yes, so 11 going up to the Lesmos on your map there. That's the first of the pit stop cars. So who's that? That's Brenton. So Rick's got to try and jump that car that's in 11th place there. Here he is. Oh no? Yes. No.
No,
yes,
that's Rick Kuznetsov. Yep. No, it continues on. And this is the thing too. Normally we wait, normally it's about the 22.5 minute mark, but a lot of these guys have come in before that tonight. We're only 18.5 minutes into the race. We're about to be 19 minutes in. So a lot of early stops tonight. So a longer second stint. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. Dave Trevathan sitting there in position number 4 right now. Jaden Schmidt and Angus Cook in the lane. Rick Kuznetsov leads from Luke Turner. The margin 17 seconds at the moment. 3 then back to Jeff Connell, who's all over. Well, actually, sorry, no, he's all under the pump from Dave Trevathan, who's all over the back of Connell. Back to Guy Leach, then he's under pressure, serious pressure, in fact, from Rudy Cronstrom. So you're watching Trevathan and Connell on screen at the moment. Then you just saw a glimpse of Leach and Cronstrom. Harris, Birchnell, Hobson and Baldwin make up the top 10. Baldwin yet to stop. In fact, the top 10 with the exception of Hobson yet to stop. Wait and see how it all plays out. 18-4 in favour of the Blues. It's looking like a very blue night to be a Queensland supporter, unfortunately. 25 minutes to go here. Dave Trevathan sitting in 4th place, having a real good run, trying to go with Jeff Connell, but Connell slowly but surely easing away, and we shouldn't be surprised by that. Connell's the 4-man in the series, so he's got the edge, he's got the pace, he's got the measure. It's just unfortunate tonight that, like so many around him, think Rayhana, think Hammond, he's run into trouble. It hasn't been a smooth run.
No, but now the field's spreading out, it might be a bit better for him. So you see Mr. T on screen there, and Rudy.
This is the Racecraft Porsche Elite Cup for you for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. GT3 racing on a Wednesday night for you. Remembrance Day 2020. Origin 2 WBBL updates as they come throughout the evening for you folks. A lot to be excited about because we're into our premiership window. The next 2 weeks will decide the championships, folks. Next week Phillip Island, the week after Bathurst. Here comes Rudy Cronstrom into the pit lane. And Rick Kuznetsov is in as well.
All right, we got to watch where Brenton Hobson filters out here. Brenton's currently 9th. He's yet to cross the line. Kuznetsov is on his way out. He's on the track. Brenton's closing. Let's cut to that if we can. 7th and 8th position. No, the gap's too big. The undercut did not work.
It certainly did not. And that's unfortunate for Brenton Hobson, but Rick Kuznetsov sitting pretty at the moment, going along nicely. What can Hobbo do in the back half of this race? Can he go with Kuznetsov? Can he catch him? Can Kuznetsov answer the challenge and withstand the pressure? We'll wait and see. Hobbo closes up as they head into turn 4 and 5. The chicane there as they head towards the back end of the circuit. Nick, we haven't done this yet tonight, but we did it last Monday night, so let's go on board with Brenton Hobson if we can right now. because we've finally found a quiet point of the race and talked through this awesome nearly 6 kilometres of real estate.
Alright, third gear through the second Lesmo. On the run down the hill to the Ascari chicane. So work your way through the gears. It's a very fast circuit. Underneath the old oval there, that's now a grandstand. Braking at the bridge here. Back it down. Third gear entry. Slow entry, and then you're generally bringing up the pace, and then you're flat out through this left-hander over the bread loaves, over the extension there where the short circuit comes out, and down the back straight. The top 3 are in, by the way. Luke Turner, Jeff Connell, Mr. T, and now Guy Leach as well. Work your way up to the top gear. Braking, it's a fast corner, but an early apex, and then you let the car run wide and try and extend this straight out. So these two have resumed their fight. They're what are they? A second apart. Get right. Oh, these guys are going right up against the pit wall there to try and shorten down the route. Across the start-finish line, there's another lap. These two have just jumped into the lead. Top gear, what are we doing? 260. And then braking at the 150 mark, work your way back through the gears, back to second gear, across the curb on the right, first gear, across the curb on the left, get a good run out of here. Work your way up, Curva Grande, flat out. I don't think there's too many cars that aren't flat out if you've got the chicane there. You can see the gap on the map to everybody, it's massive. They got 13 seconds in hand over third place, John Merritt. Braking at the bridge for the second chicane. Across the curves on the left, but try not to get... Oh, okay, these guys take heave on the right. I found that upsets the car. Work your way through the gears, up to the first of the Lesmos corners. This one's a slower one, but a bit longer radius. Third gear, and then the next one's really quick. It's a quick apex, there's no real radius to the corner. You just tap it and go, and then back on it. There's a complete lap of the circuit, and it seems to me that everybody's within at least a sector and a half of everybody else, so it's pretty tight at the top.
It certainly is. Look at this. Rudy Cronstrom rather, on the inside there of Maverick Benson, under serious pressure from him at the moment. That's a good scrap unfolding there at this point in time. Can Cronstrom hold off Benson? Can Benson go with him? Let's wait and see. 20 minutes and 33 seconds left in this race. Rick Kuznetsov leads the way from Brenton Hobson, John Merritt, Angus Cook and Jaden Schmidt. We are pretty much through the pit window. Everyone has now been in. Joe Baldwin sitting down there in 7th, Brody Sentence 18th. Glenn Adele Ben Snell out of the race, which is unfortunate. I was looking forward to having a chat with Snelly post-race. Probably not now. $20 minutes to go. So we're 5/9 of the way through. 25 down, 20 to go. Rudy Cronstrom holding off Maverick Benson, but Benson's in the slipstream here. He'll get the toe down the main straight. He'll have the inside opportunity at turn 1 unless Kuznetsov defends here, but no, he leaves the door wide open for Benson. Benson under brakes on the inside to go into position number 11 on the run down into turn 1. Cronstrom fighting back on the outside though. Benson gets the spot. Cronstrom back on the inside through turn 2. Nicely done. Strategic and tactical play there, and Benson wants to force the issue again as they head round turn 3. Keep an eye on them. Here comes Jaden Schmidt as well. Schmidt around the outside of Trevathan. And look at Guy Leach in there too. Look at this. Cronstrom and Benson. Benson down on the outside. Benson holds the line. Cronstrom wants to get across and force the issue going into the Lesmos. Can't. Benson will get the spot after half a lap of fighting. How many circuits have we seen in recent weeks, Nick, where that has been the case? You've had to work for about half a lap to execute a move. We've got another one coming up on Monday night. It's called Sonoma. Unbelievable. Look at this now. Brenton Hobson all over the back of Rick Kuznetsov. The battle for the lead's about to get really interesting here. It's about to ignite. So clearly Hobbo's worked his guts out tonight to get back onto the tail of Kuznetsov, who had the advantage after the undercut didn't work for Hobbo, and Hobbo to the outside of the run down to turn 1 now. Can Hobbo go to the lead? Not yet.
He's going to get a
Great driving from Kuznetsov.
He's compromised, so he's going to get a run out of here now. Oh, Brenton got on the grass.
Yeah, Brenton
He was
compromised
sizing
his own run.
Yeah, he was sizing him up to get a straighter run out, but unfortunately he got on the dirt.
This is an awesome fight between two of our best. Rick Kuznetsov and Brenton Hobson. They head down into the second of the chicanes here. There are 3 of them at this circuit, each one so different to the other. They throw up separate respective challenges. Kuznetsov holds off for Hobson on the run through the Lesmos. They run down to the Ascari chicane coming up. John Merritt, Angus Cook, Luke Turner, Jeff Connell, and Jaden Schmidt, the next 5 in the running order. Then Trevathan, Ray Hunter, and Leach make up the top 10 at this point in time. But we're riding with Brenton Hobson, following Rick Kuznetsov on the run down to the Ascari. Kuznetsov just needs to keep it where it's at the moment. He just needs to make every apex, every poster winner here. He may just be able to hold off Brenton Hobson and create the boil-over of the night with a victory here. It'd be a very impressive effort if he can hold off Hobbo for another 17 minutes. Chances of that unlikely because I like Hobbo's chances. Nick, given his experience in these in this platform, in sim racing in general, I like the chances, the odds of Hobbo outsmarting him here at some point and just biding his time until such point that he can execute a move cleanly. And it might be coming now as they head down to turn 1.
I think it's going to happen now. Watch to the left.
And then watch to the right. And up on the outside goes Hobbo to turn 1. Now, can he hang there as they get through 1? No, because Kuznetsov again up to the fight.
He's straight in the exit now, so he should get a run up here, but is he close enough? Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Yep, watch this. Brenton Hobson, ladies and gentlemen. He's a star in our club. He's doing a great job here to fight with Rick Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov knows that Hobbo's right there with a chance. Defends the inside line as though his life depends on it. Goes over the curb, compromised on the exit. Hobbo on the outside. Kuznetsov on the inside. Hobbo can't get it done just yet. Kuznetsov forces the issue through the Lesmos. Have a look at this. Side by side in the battle for the lead of the race. Magnificent. Kuznetsov! Oh, they're both gone. Kuznetsov gone round and Hobbo had nowhere to go. Oh, can you believe it? Hobbo will lead this race as a result, but my goodness gracious me, what drama we've had here. John Merritt's going to come through into 3rd. Look at this on replay, Nick.
Well, pressure either creates diamonds, but far out. It just a bit too much curve. Car's starting to bounce now. Hobson's got nowhere to go. You aim for the back of the car. Unfortunately, he didn't spin around enough that he was going to be clear. Then they came to a complete stop, and their 12-second lead got eradicated now down to 4.5 seconds.
Extraordinary.
Well, actually, Rick's lost to 3rd now. John Merritt's
John Merritt's gone through into 3rd while we were looking at the replay. Oh, wow. What a moment. What an absolute... Here I was hoping that we could talk that up for another 14 minutes, but no, not to be. Hobbo's now in the clear. The experience rises to the fore. Now, here's Guy Leach all over the back there of Jaden Schmidt, trying to find a way by. Trevor Than's ahead of them. Connell ahead of them. Cook ahead of him. And then Turner in 4th place. Now trying to go with Rick Kuznetsov, who's all over the back of John Merritt. Look at Leach now on the inside of Schmidt. On the run to turn 1. And look who's lurking. Look who's there in 10th. His name is Jackson Rayhana. Leach and Schmidt side by side. Rayhana makes the most of that. Gets onto the tail of Leach on the exit of the chicane on the run down. Round the long, sweeping right-hander here. Full noise, these Porsches in full flight. The run to turn 4. Leach has been passed by Schmidt. And in all of that, Dave Trevathan got muscled back to 10th place. And I didn't see Trevathan actually go off the circuit, if I'm honest with you. Now, Schmidt, a little bit wide. Oh, dear, look at this. Guy Leach all over the back of Schmidt. And under so much pressure from Jackson Rayhana. who's trying to get through to 8th. And if he can get to 7th, get ahead of Schmidt, the chase will be on then to catch Connell. But we've got a real fight for 3rd on our hands here, folks. A real fight for 3rd. Rick Kuznetsov has got back by John Merritt, but he's under serious pressure from Turner, Cook and Connell. Look at that, right there. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th in the car race. Wide goes John Merritt now. Lap 18. Brenton Hobson the leader. Down the road from Rick Kuznetsov, the margin 5.1 seconds. Now, how much damage did Brenton Hobson sustain in that incident? I don't think it would have been much, because he's been able to continue on. Maybe half a second, 3/4 of a second slower than what he was lapping earlier on in the race. Everyone's completed their pit stops. We're on the run to the checkered flag now. We haven't had a chance to check in with Joe Baldwin for a while because there's been that much happening. Joe, it's a little bit lonely down there in 16th.
Yeah, it is. I've lost my rhythm a little bit when you got no one to race. Brody chased me down, and I made a mistake, so I made it easy for him. But Paul Woods, he's had a couple of problems at the first chicane. So yeah, just watch him going in there this time. I think he keeps locking his rears.
Copy that. 11 minutes and 38 seconds to go. John Merritt and Luke Turner both just lighting up and off track on our camera, on our timing screen, I should say. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Joe Baldwin, the car on screen at the moment, sitting down there in 16th place. He's got by Paul Wood. His next target is Brody Sentence, but it's 4 seconds up the road. Oh, look at this now. John Merritt under... Oh, no! Off goes Luke Turner. Another one. And he had a moment earlier in the race as well. This is turning out to be a frustrating night for some of these guys. This was a turn on the outside of Merritt going into the Ascari. Curb, bang. Well, can you believe that? Nick, I don't know where to start summarising all of this. We've still got 10 minutes to go, and we're going to be here for an hour trying to dissect all of what's happened tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I guess we can only call what's going on. We can only speculate what they're thinking and where they're going. But far out, what a race!
Be easy to predict the US election, wouldn't it, boys?
Easy to predict the lotto at the moment. 10 minutes to go. And Jeff Connell in all of that is back up in 4th. So his next target is John Merritt. And if he can get Merritt, I tell you what, it's on. It's well and truly on for Jeff Connell. What a salvage mission this has been from him. Angus Cook sitting there in the top 5, having an almighty run as well. Well clear now, of course, of Luke Turner, who made that mistake there going through the Ascari. Then Guy Leach, Jaden Schmidt. Schmidt still putting the pressure on Leach. They've got Travathan and Benson. Cronstrom's 11th. Hammer is 12th. Birchnell, Sentence, and Baldwin's now 15th. Ray Harner is in the pits. So I'm not too sure what's happened to Jackson Ray Harner, but he's in the pits again. Oh boy. Utter madness tonight. What about this drive from Angus Cook as well? He's the 4th car on screen there. Now the 3rd, the black and pink, trying to chase down John Merritt and Jeff Connell. And watch Connell go to the inside here at some point on John Merritt to get the job done and move into the podium positions, move into the top 3. It's all on here at the moment. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. Connell sending it. No, not yet. He yields. He thinks better of it. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go. And Merritt wide. And Connell spins. Oh, the drama continues here. Merritt wide. It looked like he was going to run over the ripple strips. He gathered up. He didn't go over the ripples. And now he's under pressure from Angus Cook because of the mistake. Cook, the big beneficiary, up to 4th. Turner's gone through to 5th. And Jeff Connell on his own. I think he's balked himself when he saw the mistake for John Merritt go wide here. And then he's caught Curb on the inside. Oh, dear, where do you start summarising? This is just incredible. This could well be a championship-defining race, this. Because Hobbo's out in front, well clear now. He's 4.2 seconds down the road from Kuznetsov. Then you've got Cook behind him. John Merritt's now back to 4th because Cook there on your screen has got behind, gone into 3rd. So Angus Cook is on the podium, outright this time, not just for a class. Merritt's trying to fight back down on the inside, going into the Ascari! And Merritt will go back to 3rd. Cook back to 4th, but it's not over yet. We've seen Merritt make a mistake in the chicane at the end of the main straight. We're not ruling out more drama between now and when the checkered flag flies in a little over 7 minutes. Brenton Hobson's about to start lap 20. We've got 4 laps to go. Look at this. Cook all over the back of John Merritt like a really bad rush at the moment. They come onto the main straight. Merritt hugs the inside. And then he's just weaving left to right, trying to break the toe. Trying to make it difficult for Cook to find a way by. And then he defends the inside for dear life as they get down to turn 1. 6 3/4 minutes to go. Angus Cook sits 4th. Merritt is 3rd. Is there another sting in the tail? Is there more drama yet to unfold here? 6.5 minutes to go. Turner's had an off-track excursion. So Luke Turner has dropped down the order behind Guy Leach, Jayden Schmidt and Dave Trevathan now. He's dropped back to 9th. He was 6th. We'll stay with this fight between Angus Cook and John Merritt. This is the battle for the final spot on the podium. The 3rd in the car race. And there are just 6 minutes left. The clock ticking away. The time running out at the tempo of speed. Look at this. Hobson, Kuznetsov, Merritt, Cook, Connell, the top 5. And Connell, forget about anything better than 5th for Jeff Connell. He will not close 6 seconds on Cook or Merritt between now and the checkered flag unless they come together and end up off the circuit. Look at this ongoing fight though. Turner now with all the work cut out for him to try and find another way by Dave Trevathan, Jayden Schmidt and Guy Leach. He already got past those guys. He's back behind them because of a mistake earlier this lap. Nick, summarise all that for me. I need a gargle.
There's a lot going on. The water is ever changing. It's ebbing and flowing. Each lap in the braking zone, there's someone having a go, and as you can see, Mr. T's having to defend defend off Luke Turner. At the front, Brenton Hobson still leading by 4.3 seconds to another 4.8 to John Merritt and Angus Cook. I think they were going into turn 1 as we looked up. Jeff Connell another 6 seconds back. Guy Leach 6 more seconds back, and then this fight right here. Luke Turner, Mr. T,
Right.
Rudy Kuznetsov, everybody's in here.
Yep, Turner gets the job done, gets down on the inside. Now, Jayden Schmidt is in the pit lane. So that's really disappointing for him because that's going to drop him out of the fight. He's dropped down to 12th in the order now, and he will be out of contention. But Angus Cook still sits 4th. What a great drive that's been. I mean, you've got to have luck go your way, and you've got to make the most of the incidents around you and the madness that's unfolding, and he's done exactly that tonight. 4 minutes to go. Just to give you an update too, folks, it's a little bit sickening if you're a Queensland supporter because New South Wales have got it again, so it's 22-4. So they're giving us an absolute hiding like they did in Perth last year. Now, Jackson Rayhana and Jayden Schmidt come together. That's what happened. So we wondered why Rayhana was in for a second time. I've just got word from Dylan Gray that Jayden Schmidt has been given a drive-through penalty, so that's why he was back in the lane the second time there. There was contact between Rayhana and Schmidt, and therefore Schmidt has been pinged with that. Unfortunate, but that's racing. And you know what that's all about, Nick. I mean, live race control probably wouldn't have helped you tonight, but it would have been nice.
Oh. the one of the two sayings that I really hate hearing is "it is what it is," but I mean you can't do anything about it. As I think that there are two moves on the both Injectors Online cars here. Two cars looking at Injectors Online cars, and I think they're both going to have a go.
There goes Luke Turner. He's got one. Down on the inside of Guy Leach. Oh no! Not quite. Not quite. Leach was able to hold on. Turner's back on the outside now, trying to fight around. On the run down to the next chicane. Hobo, Kuznetsov, Merritt, Cook and Connell the top 5. So Jeff Connell has got back to 5th. Forget about getting any further up the order. He's 4 seconds behind Angus Cook. There's 2 minutes on the clock. That's all happening at the moment. Just a quick update from the WBBL. Brisbane 2 for 67, chasing 112. And that's at the end of the 12 overs. So 8 overs left. And they need 45 runs. So that's a pretty simple task for Brisbane there. Have a look at this. Turner on the outside. Got the job done. Nice. So Turner gets by Leach. Leach under pressure from his teammate Benson. Dave Trevathan slowly but surely falling off the tail there. And in behind them is Rudy Cronstrom. He's in the top 10 now. Down the inside, Turner holds the spot through the Ascari, but oh, look at that. That was brilliant. Around the outside from Leach to force the issue and gain the momentum required to go back to 6th. Turner's got all the work to do again as we start the last lap of the race. Brenton Hobson's on his way home. Kuznetsov's going to drive an awesome race to go home second. And John Merritt is still fighting with Angus Cook, but he's managed to break clear of Cook, so he should hold on to 3rd. But seriously, there aren't enough superlatives for this bloke. Brenton Hobson, just a class act. A minute to go here. Didn't feel the pressure at any point. Relatively calm, as Nick said, right throughout the race. Just sat in there with Rick Kuznetsov, waited for Kuznetsov to make this mistake. Almost had to go out in sympathy with him, but didn't cost him any track time as a result. He didn't lose a position. He just lost a little bit of his advantage that they'd already racked up. And in the end, he's going to restore most of that anyway to be a comfortable winner here. Round 8 of the championship. It's been Hobson and Connell right throughout the course of the series. And with Connell having a bad run tonight, slipping down to 5th, Hobo's going to be in good shape with 2 weeks left. Phillip Island and then Bathurst. And of course, Bathurst being double points, we all know what can unfold there. Round the Ascari for the last time. On the run to the Parabolica, Brenton Hobson's going to get the job done. Wednesday night motorsport, the Racecraft Porsche Elite Cup. From the home of Italian motorsport, the 5.79 kilometre Monza circuit here. Last turn, checkered flag at the ready, clock hits 0. Brenton Hobson a masterclass, but not without a fight from Rick Kuznetsov. Hobson wins at Monza, wins round 8 of the Porsche Racecraft Elite GT3 Cup for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Wednesday night motorsport right here. That is a superb performance. Second to Rick Kuznetsov. Then 3rd to John Merritt. Angus Cook, Jeff Connell make up the top 5. Then we go back. That was a great drive from... Oh, look at that. Jeff Connell sideways over the line, if you don't mind. That was a superb performance from Guy Leach to get back to 6. Maverick Benson, Dave Trevathan. And then Rudy Cronstrom and Luke Turner. Sensational performance from Angus Cook there in 4th as well. Let's not forget about that. Luke Turner in for 10th. Then Birchnell, Sentence, Schmidt, Baldwin. Then Paul Wood and Tim Harris will round out the finishing order here. Jackson Rayhana still sitting in the pit lane and out of the contention there. Well, Chris Stark just updating us on Split 2. He said it went hell in a hand bucket. So I'm looking forward to getting the summary of all of that very shortly. Nick, I know you've just dragged Angus Cook into the commentary position here. We'll get to him in just a moment. But firstly, your thoughts on all of that. It's the first time we've really seen Brenton Hobson challenged by someone other than Jeff Connell. It wasn't to be in the end. Pressure is everything, and Hobbo applied it perfectly and capitalised when it all went pear-shaped for Rick Kuznetsov.
Well, it was such a lead. I mean, it was always a good idea to have a go. So, yeah, look, it made for some great racing, but again, Brenton Hobson just too strong.
Indeed, I'm not sure how many drivers are going to actually want to come in and have a chat to us tonight, given how all that played out. But one man that had a clean run all the way was Angus Cook, and he joins us now. Second in the TCR was, a little bit difficult to swallow considering the off tracks and everything else, mate. But you've bounced back beautifully here with the top 4 finish in the Porsche. And given the misfortune for those around you, I mean, look at the names that you've defeated here. Jeff Connell, Guy Leach, also Luke Turner, and then, I mean, Jackson Rayhana, Michael Hammond, just, we're plucking out the big names here. It's been a really good night at the office for you to come up and come home in 4th.
Yeah, it was great. I honestly feel like I won the race, apart from the fact I picked up a 1X with 1 lap to go. Otherwise, I would have had a clean race as well. But if there's a definition of the seas parting way, that was pretty much my race. I think Connell passed me and spun in front of me. Turner passed me. There's just people everywhere. So yeah, honestly, I feel like I won the thing. I said a few weeks back, maybe I won best of the rest, but today I was kind of actually there. And with Kuznetsov and Albo, if they had gone and had a bit of bigger dramas, then would have been well up there.
Well done to Brenton Hobson for putting on a smoke show there on the main straight, lapping it up with the burnout spectacle and the right post-race celebrations. Angus, I'll come back to you in just a moment, mate. Brenton Hobson, Rick Kuznetsov, John Merritt, Angus Cook, Jeff Connell, Guy Leach, Maverick Benson, Dave Trevathan, Rudy Cronstrom, and Luke Turner, the top 10. I can never get Cronstrom out in one go. But they were the top 10 tonight, and the top 10 separated by 36.4 seconds, which is a lot closer than what we saw in the GT4 TCR race. Birchnell, Sentence, and Schmidt, then the rest of them outside a minute behind the race winner. Joe Baldwin home for 14th, Paul Wood home for 15th, Tim Harris 16th, and then a long list of retirements. Not sure what happened to Michael Hammond. He was 5 laps down, so too Jackson Rayhana. Then Glenn Cedar Riddell, a retirement early on, so too Ben Snell. And looking further afield, actually that was it. They were the only 20 starters in all of that. So, I mean, there's all the non-starters. No, obviously Matt Robinson, Josh Thomas, and Nick Windsor, Dylan Gray in race control. So that's all good and well as well. We'll see if we can get him in for a chat very shortly. We'll get Rick Kuznetsov in here for a chat right now as well. So Rick and Angus we've got for the moment. We'll see if we've got anyone else out for chat now. I'm sure Nick will be scouting some talent to come in and join us in the post-race show. Actually, no, Luke Turner and Jackson Rayhana are coming in on their own accord. I was a bit worried that we might not have too many people coming in to have a chat tonight. Joe Baldwin's still here as well, given that was a frustrating 45 minutes for so many. But let me start. I'm going to come back to you, Angus Cook. Can I start with you, Rick Kuznetsov, please? Because that was a superb performance from you, mate. You pushed Brenton Hobson every step of the way. Unfortunately, one small mistake, like so many tonight, it was enough to bring you undone, but you must be so happy with second place, considering the night of drama that happened around you.
Yeah, it was definitely a good race with Hobson. Got a bit unlucky. I think we got stuck together. But yeah, it was a good result. It was good fun.
Indeed. Just talk us through the mistake, because it was a talking point for so many tonight. We saw a couple of drivers come unstuck, just rear brakes or curb or getting too much curb. What was it in your case?
My first mistake where you called me up was just over the curb. I think on the gas too early or too much gas and lost the rear. But lucky I caught it, and then after that we started fighting Hobson.
Indeed. To be fair, your pace was fantastic. You had the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 50.07. But it's a tough challenge to take on someone like Brenton Hobson, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But it was good respect, good racing. Even though we collided, I think it was a race incident either way, so it was good.
Well, that's exactly right. Unfortunately, when you spun there, he just had nowhere to go. That's just how it is. But to fight back through, to get back by John Merritt, to get into second, I mean, you clearly had the pace you were in the end 4.86 seconds clear of John Merritt. So in summary, second, yes, that's great, but it could have been one spot better.
Yeah, definitely could have been first, but yeah, either way, it was a good race. It was a bit unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it was good fun.
We'll see you again next week, mate. Of course, we got our final 2 rounds, Phillip Island and then Bathurst. Everyone loves both of those circuits, I'm pretty sure. What are your thoughts on the island?
Phillip Island, it's not my strongest track, but I've raced a few times there. If I do enough practice, I should be all right.
Indeed. Stay there with me, mate. We'll keep you involved in the conversation here for a few more minutes because there's a fair bit of drama around you to have a chat about right now. Let's go back to Angus Cook firstly. Angus, your thoughts on the next 2 rounds? Because obviously we've already got your synopsis of the race that was. Your thoughts on Phillip Island and then Bathurst, obviously?
We did a practice race at Phillip Island before the season, just in the week that we had off, and not going to lie, it was utter carnage, I think is probably a good way to explain it, maybe being polite. So I think, you might see a fair bit of drama again as tonight. You might maybe have a few people who have driven the track in real life, maybe think they know maybe a few more braking zones and a few little tricks around the track. So I reckon it'll be interesting.
And I guess the key for the next 2 weeks, I guess particularly Bathurst, Angus, is capitalising on like running a consistent race yourself and then just capitalising on the misfortunes for those around you.
Yeah, that's right. If I can do what I did tonight and manage to not get caught up and pretty much just run a clean race the whole way, that shot me up to P4 tonight. So if I can do that at double points round at Bathurst, then that's a massive haul. And same at Phillip Island, where it's such a flowy track. You might even find that the tyres become a tiny bit of an issue because tyre wear's pretty big there.
Indeed. Stick there. We'll come back to you as the night goes on. Again, we'll throw the conversation around and get everyone else involved firstly, and we'll come back to you in just a moment, mate. Let's go to Brenton Hobson, our race winner now, finally in the chat room. Hobo, was there a little bit of a heart in the mouth moment when Rick Kuznetsov went right round in front of you?
Oh, yeah, no joke. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Like we're on for a hell of a race there. That was going to be a cracker right down to the end. And I was just trying. I felt like it was quicker, and I just wanted to put him under pressure just as much as I could on my side, anywhere I could, even if it was on the outside, not really setting up a move. Just keep him guessing, keep him blocking, defending, and slow him down basically to give me a chance. And I wanted to get through as early as I could and just see if I could hang on because I think he was faster than me. So
yeah,
that's all I was doing there. And I guess he took a compromised line through that right-hander there, the second Lesmo, I think it was. And
yep,
he must have just caught an awkward bump over the curb on the inside or something, and it just spat him around. And I was like trying to stay off him and locked up the brakes and everything, and just couldn't avoid him. But we're just sitting there parked in the sandpit, waving at each other through the windows, like, we got to get out of here. And it was sort of like felt like it was all happening all at once there, but we got away with it. Yeah.
I guess apart from that one incident, you were very lucky because all the rubbish happened behind you tonight, and there's plenty to dissect if you want to tune in and watch the replay here because there were so many incidents. But from your standpoint, mate, that was a beautifully driven race. You've answered pretty much everything we were speculating during the call because someone of your experience, you didn't need to get to the front straight away. Yes, Kuznetsov was able to match you number for number, and that was certainly proven. He had the fastest lap of the race. But it didn't seem as though you were feeling the pressure there. It didn't seem as though you were too worried about the outcome. A, you were clear of Jeff Connell, and B, you knew when you were going to make your move.
Well, if you didn't think I was feeling the pressure, then I pulled a Swifty on you because there's no way. I thought for sure we were up against the ropes in that one. I almost gapped out of the draft at the start of the race, and I thought if I just get my nose out and far enough in front here, I might be home and hosed early on and just cruise it in. And then he just reeled me in, and I thought we might have been in trouble. And I thought he might have sat behind me till the pit stops, and then he went for a move, so I was happy with that. I was thinking, beautiful, I can sit behind, maybe save some fuel, see where we're at, what pace I've got. And after that, I didn't save any fuel. I was like driving flat out to keep up with him, even though I had the draft. So I knew I was in trouble. I thought, oh my God, I barely can keep up with him here. So I took a risky decision. I tried to pit, and really it was to try and to mitigate the threat of a safety car. Like if a safety car came out, I knew I'd be home and hosed there. I was good. But also it was really just to try and put him under some sort of pressure and hope that he'd make a mistake when he saw I ducked out from behind him. And I'd hope that maybe it would put him under some pressure and I'd get an error out of him during the pit cycle, which he didn't make. I actually nearly sped in the pit lane, so I made more of a mistake than he did there. But we came back out and it was just, literally I thought he had me covered. So it was just full aggression. We had to just try and force an error, basically, because if he got clear and drove away, I didn't give myself a chance. So he drove a really good race, and he definitely took it right up to me. And I feel like that might be as much of a challenge as I've had in this car yet to try and get a race win. And credit to him, because that was a cracking drive. He's just unlucky, and that can happen. These cars are easy to make mistakes in, and it wasn't even so much of an error, I don't think. I think he just caught an unlucky bounce, and once that happens, these things are a bit hard to catch. So it's a shame it ended like that, really, but I mean, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It's another win for you, and of course, you should. I'll be interested to see. We won't have championship points for you tonight, folks. We'll have them first up next Wednesday night, because Adam Lavis isn't in the broadcast booth tonight because of work commitments. So we will have those points for you. We might even drop them into Friday night's broadcast if we get a chance. But I'll be interested to see how it balances out now, because you were pushing it uphill anyway in terms of the championship fight. Because Jeff had an extra round on you, but that bad result for him, and by bad I mean, well, it was only 5th, but it sort of will help you out when the point sheets balance out at the end of this week, you would think.
Well, yeah, every time we beat him, we make a gain, I guess. I hadn't really considered the double points round at Bathurst, so that will keep it alive down to the end, irrespective, I think, as long as we don't screw up any. Even if we're backwards and forwards from here on out to the finish, I think that the double points will keep it alive until the end. But I still think we're going to need a pretty big result somewhere over him to get across the line. It's going to be close if we keep beating him by a little bit here and there, but it'll be interesting to see how that sort of plays out, I think.
Certainly will be. Mate, there's a couple of other questions I want to ask you, but I'm going to go around the room first because there's a fair bit to dissect from that race, as you could probably imagine. Let me start with Jackson Rayhana, and then I'll bring in Luke Turner. Jackson, what happened, mate? Because it would seem to us that you've hit the eject button just before the finish there, finishing 5 laps down on our totem roll here. But you were caught up in a bit of drama tonight. You couldn't catch a break from the moment that you made that one mistake on your own accord. You ended up in everyone else's mess after that.
Yeah, good evening, mate.
Hi, mate.
Yeah, look, I don't DNF them often. So yeah, it sucks, but yeah, I ended up on my roof. Actually, that's why I had to.
We didn't see that.
Yeah, so I just got a minor touch from Jaden Schmidt. I was three wide in the middle, and I basically almost cleared Jaden, not quite by the looks, but I got turned and unfortunately hit a curb the wrong way and ended up on my roof.
Well, that'll do it every day of the week. Talk us through the first incident, mate, because that's where all the rubbish started, unfortunately for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, at first it was great because the seas parted and I found myself in third position at the end of the first lap, so that was cool. And then cold tyres. I just ended up getting a massive tank slapper through one of the fast right-handers, and spat it off into the gravel. So, in all fairness to myself, I probably put myself back where I shouldn't have been. Like if I hadn't have made that mistake, I'd probably none of it would have happened, and everyone's happy, and I would have been up fighting with my teammate Angus Cook, who's had an absolute stonker of a drive tonight. He did awesome job. But look, I put myself in that position, and unfortunately, that's you put yourself in the risky zone, and the risk turned into something not so favourable tonight.
Well, that's exactly right. What happened to your teammate Michael Hammond while we're here?
He got caught up in some rubbish as well.
Yep.
I think Mons is one of those tracks. It's just like you're either out in front, or you're having a race with some guys who give room and all that stuff, or you get caught up in someone else's rubbish, or just carnage. I don't think I've done a single race on any sim online where there hasn't been some form of bust up, whether it be the first corner or the first lap or a couple laps in. But yeah, it's definitely a circuit that attracts carnage. But looking forward to next week, Phillip Island. I had a good run there in the warm-up race that we did before the season started. So it's a track that I really like. So we're going from a track that I don't like to a track that I'm pretty fond of.
Well, that's exactly right. Looking forward to seeing how all that plays out next week with Phillip Island. The other point as well we should point out is exactly what Jackson said. Monza seems to be one of those circuits, and it was proven tonight. I mean, the amount of drivers that you wouldn't normally expect to see in trouble, that ended in trouble, it was just astonishing stuff, but it made for very entertaining viewing. There's no doubt about that. Jackson, I'll come back to you in just a moment. Let me go over you to Luke Turner. Luke, a similar story. You had a couple of moments there that would, you'd pretty much like to forget, I'd say.
Yeah, I had the car pace tonight, positive. I was fast. Got through the first lap, bonus, because that was, as I said to you on Monday night, I was a bit afraid of that. And unfortunately, I got KO'd on the second corner coming into the chicane. I think it happened like 2 cars back, and I got going again. And I'll be honest with you, I just overdrove it. I had the red mist, and I just took too much. I took too much out of the tyres. But I've got to be honest. Like all the guys I was racing, like it was fantastic racing. No one except for one, drove me off the road or anything. Like it was really, really enjoyable. Like we were going side by side everywhere, and the few times that I'd come unstuck, it was completely my own doing. I hit the curb and just trying to get on the gas a little bit early. So look, it is what it is. But I had fun.
And that's the main thing as well. At the end of the day, it's all about fun, isn't it? I mean, there'll be a few people like you that'll have the red mist, but they will still have the red mist when they next top in the sim on Friday because it's been that sort of a night. But at the end of the day, if you've had fun, a result's a bonus. Interesting that you point out that first incident, 3 or 4 cars got caught up in that. You were an innocent bystander, and then it's pretty hard to bounce back from that without having a little bit of red mist on board, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's why we're all racing cars, all right? We love it. I want to go fast. Look, I'm really pleased. I'm starting to find a little bit more pace now, so I'm qualifying up front, so staying relatively out of the junk, which happens on lap 1. Tonight's unlucky, I just got monstered. Yeah. It happens, but well done to Brenton. Like, mate, you're a consummate professional, always humble. You just do it week in, week out. Well done.
I'll go back to Brenton on that note, and then I'll come back to you, Luke. And Nick, if you're there, actually, no, Nick's not there at the moment, but I was going to say, if there's someone there that can let us know what's going on in terms of if we had anyone end up on 0x tonight, I'll be amazed if that was the case. Brenton, I'll come back to you. I mean, you talk about the fight that you got tonight from Rick Kuznetsov. Normally it's Jeff Connell or it's Glenn Postlethwaite or it's Cal Watmore. It's nice to have a few more names there just knocking on the door, isn't it?
I mean, well, yeah, I could see that from two different perspectives. It is good to see people coming up and challenging, and I mean, I just love the race, so I love getting the elbows out. It's good to mix it up with different people, and I mean, it seems like the general competition level across the league is just raising itself every week on week, and we've talked about a few drivers that just keep getting better and better, and it's only a matter of time. I mean, it's just like you say, I always find someone to have a little fight with every week, and if it's someone different every week, well, that's good. It just means that there's lots of people around, but it's only a matter of time until I stop being at the front, so that's the flip side of the coin.
That's true. But at the end of the day, I mean, you look at it one or two ways. I look at it one or two ways. It can either be you out in front by anywhere upwards of half a minute, or it can be you in the fight for your life, like you were tonight for much of that second portion of the race, and providing us with entertainment in the process. Obviously, the entertainment somewhat died down at the pointing end of town when you got out to a 5-second lead there, but it was all on behind you. So, I mean, on that consensus, flip the coin. Would you rather work hard for the win, or have it as easy as you did, say, in Montreal in the production car race earlier in the year when you won by nearly a minute?
Yeah, they're very different outcomes, aren't they? I love to win, but I love to race. At the end of the day, I'd probably rather just have a cracking battle with someone for 20th than I would win by half a minute. So I just love to get out there and compete, especially when you get into a good race with someone. You got, just get a good battle going, and you're just trying to strategize and just try and understand the strengths and weaknesses that you might have, or any of that sort of stuff. I just love all that, especially the strategy side of stuff. I love it when you make a call, it might be bold and it works. It's just the best. So I love all that sort of stuff. I'd much rather a good race than a good finish, if that's the question, I guess.
Yeah. I was going to say, don't worry too much, boys, about the madness of Split 1. Split 2 was it was hell in a handbasket, according to Chris Starks. So I take it there's a few disgruntled people in there as well. Paul Wood, let's go to you. And Joe Baldwin, actually, no, Joe Baldwin's gone, unfortunately. We were going to be able to check in with Joe again, but he has skipped out. Probably dinner time over there in the West, but we appreciate him sticking around for as long as he did. He was 14th. Just behind him was Paul Wood. Was it a frustrating night at the office, PW?
Yeah, I think that pretty well sums it up.
Just talk us through it, mate.
Yeah, pretty much from lap 3, it all just started to go downhill from there. And yeah, the harder I tried to drive to make up time, just the more mistakes I made. And yeah, it was just one of those races, I think, to just put it in the history books and leave it there, I think.
Brenton, that's twice that we've heard someone say the harder we tried to drive it, the worse we went, and Luke was the first one, and obviously now Paul's chimed in with those sort of remarks as well. What's the, from a psychological standpoint, from a racecraft standpoint, what's the trick? And I know everyone's different, everyone has their own anger trigger points and everything else, and their fuses are shorter or larger depending upon their tolerance levels. But what's the trick to just pushing something straight to the back of your mind and getting back into the zone without being more aggressive, more heated than what you were 3 seconds before the incident started?
That's a fine art, really. I think I've talked about this before, where I tend to believe that that's one of my strengths over a lot of other drivers, is compartmentalizing the issues and not making the secondary mistake, which is almost always worse than the first one. You make an error, even if it's not your fault, you get shoved off or something. It's easy to then just blow it at the next corner, and it's so much worse. It compounds. It's not an easy thing to do, and these cars specifically probably emphasize that, because they're so hard. There's a lot of cars you can get away with driving at 105% and stepping over a little bit, you get away with it. These things, you go to 101% and you're off the track and look like a spud. So you got to be right there at the threshold, but just under it. With these cars, you can't overstep in these ones. They hurt you badly. If you get a little bit too deep under brakes, you got no hope of stopping. You go a little bit too hard on the throttle, they'll rotate, you can't catch it. It's just very unforgiving, this car. So it actually kind of emphasizes that aspect of racing. So it's not always your fault. You go off the track, not necessarily intentionally or by your own choice. It can be other people that do that to you. But it's the recovery, the way you handle it, and the mental aspect to racing these cars, I think, probably is a big difference between this and a lot of the other stuff we drive.
I think Zach's disappeared.
I think we've lost him.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, yeah, it was a very interesting race. I reckon there's a fair bit of carnage, although Split 2 having the 2 safety cars was real interesting.
With thanks to the great people at Racecraft and
oh no.
Apologies there, boys. I had a internet issue at my end, so I don't know how much of me you've just heard or not heard, or whatever the case may be.
All of it.
Yeah, absolutely none of it.
None of it or all of it, I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue. So apologies there. It happens once a night right at the end of the broadcast, so I don't know what's going on, so I apologise right there. Just an update, 32-10 State of Origin, New South Wales holding on, so it looks like we're going to a decider, which isn't good news for Queensland based on the last couple of years. And on that note, that's the last Origin update I'll give because it's quite depressing viewing at this point in time. Let's go back to the conversation here. I was with Brenton Hobbs, and let me go back to Angus and Jackson, and we'll also bring in Luke Turner and Rick Kuznetsov here. Jackson, you had one of those frustrating nights. You are usually a calm, cool, collected character. Did you have a little bit of red mist tonight?
Not even, no. Just obviously I was a bit, annoyed with myself with making that mistake. But yeah, the secondary incident that Brenton just alluded to. I mean, sort of couldn't really avoid that, but it was more. I'd more just succumb to the fact that I kind of put myself there in the first place. So it's not. I can't really be too angry at anyone but myself. But yeah, you've got to build and grow from these things, and yeah, it's just another week where I feel like every race is an opportunity, whether it be someone like Brenton or Jeff or someone with experience and has won big events and been a part of some of the biggest sim racing events going around. I feel like every opportunity you get to race with them is a big one, and yeah, I'm more frustrated in the fact that I've missed the opportunity to be able to go toe to toe with them and learn something. But yeah, those opportunities will come soon. There's a race every week. It's not like this is the last race that's ever going to get held. So yeah, look, I can't be too upset. At the end of the day, the opportunity will come again. I've just got to keep working hard.
Exactly. Well done to Dave Trevathan. Well done to Angus Cook. Clean races in amongst all of that garbage. They somehow managed a clean slate. So well done. A couple of bonus points coming your way, Angus. That's a nice little bit of icing on the cake, even though you didn't get the podium, mate.
Yeah, 0 sounds good. I feel like I might have sneakily picked up 1, but if you're saying 0, then it's definitely 0. So
I was going to say our screen's saying 0.
You don't tell them that, Gus.
Yeah, what Zach said goes. That's right.
Well,
computer never
apparently.
lies. So yeah, it was a good race though. It was great to have flash graphics on the car. John's been real good. Throwing me a livery my way, sorry, just because he's not been able to make it. So yeah, it's actually pretty good to be repping a club sponsor and not putting it in the wall or 100 meters up in the air. So
true.
Car's meant to be where it is.
A little bit more positive, life-affirming sort of news for you folks in terms of Queensland versus New South Wales. The Brisbane Heat women got an 8-wicket win over the Sydney Thunder in the WBBL fixture tonight at the Blacktown International Sports Park. Chasing 112, they got home 2 for 115 with 3.5 overs to spare. So well done to the Brisbane Heat women's side. Of course, they are former WBBL champions, looking good in this season as well. Let's continue the conversation here. I'll bring in Luke Turner and Rick Kuznetsov once more. Rick, actually, I'll go to Luke first because he's unmuted his mic first. Luke, what's the key for you over the next couple of weeks? Because clearly tonight you had the red mist and it worked against you. If something was to happen next week and you've got to get back in the zone, what's the key to doing it a little bit better than you did tonight?
I think Hobbo hit the nail on the head. Stay calm. Just deal with it and move on. I suppose the frustrating part for me tonight is I knew I had the pace, whereas some other weeks I've sort of been there or thereabouts. But yeah, he hit the nail on the head. So yeah, just take my stride. Look, I've got a lot of good things to take away. Like I'm getting faster on the GT3s, the Porsches are starting to come. Just got to stay calm. I know I can drive it. Just a bit of experience, I suppose. But I think that's it.
Agreed. Rick, if you're still there, I'll get you to unmute your microphone as well. Good to have you still in the house and everyone else that's sticking around as well. Your thoughts on your own incident, just getting back into the zone, putting the head back down, the eyes forward. Was it as easy as it sounded?
Yeah, I wasn't too mad, to be honest. It was like a bit of a I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if you touched me or not, but I think it was maybe from a bump I had lost control. So it's just bringing the car home. If it was something else, I would have been mad. But at the end of the day, I think it was just a racing incident. So it was all good.
Yeah. No, we saw no car-to-car contact there, so that's all good and well. Nico pops back. Jackson Rayhana's ducked off, so we'll be on the run home as far as this broadcast is concerned in a few moments. Hobbo, Friday night, the triple treat. Can you get it done?
I don't even know where we're racing, Zach, but yep, we can do it.
I like the confidence. Production cars and supercars, I believe it's Spa. And, of course, we're off to Watkins Glen for the Cup, for the stock cars, for the Xfinities and the Arca.
Okay, righto. Well, yeah, we've just done a heap of laps at Spa in the supercar, so that's good. That's a lock-in. I don't know what the production car is, but, I mean, we'll adapt pretty quickly for those, I think.
GT4, I believe, mate.
Oh, right. Yeah, cool. I haven't driven them yet this season, so
yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Lots of high-speed and drafty stuff happening there at that track too, so should be a good close battle if we get a few of the hard heads in there together again. Hopefully we get them all together for 1 week at the time. Would be nice for a change instead of one of us just not being there. But
true.
If we're all there and we're all having a bit of a dip, I think it'll be a good race. Yeah, supercar, we should be all right there. I'm not at this stage. My teammate still isn't back, so I don't know if he'll be back this Friday or not. But I haven't heard any news to suggest otherwise yet. So we'll see who the contenders are on Friday for the supercar. And then we'll probably watch Cal get small in our windshield at Watkins Glen, but we'll see. We'll try our best. We've done it once, so we know we can do it again.
That's exactly right, mate. Eyes forward on the prize. Let's throw it up to Angus Cook now, mate. Next week, you've got one eye on the TCR crown as far as the Hump Day Pilot Series is concerned. What about the rest of it? Are you happy with your progress in the Porsche, and what do you reckon you can salvage in terms of an outright result there?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where I am after tonight in the standings. I think Bathurst will be big. If you can capitalise double points and have a good run there, you'll be right. Yeah, focus, I think. TCR having a clean run next week at Phillip Island, and I've been saying all the way through that as long as my drop round isn't Bathurst, then I should be okay. Jackson and I have been focusing on F3A a lot. We're leading the team's championship for the club at the moment, so we've got 4 more rounds, I think, there, so we've put a fair bit of focus on that one. So yeah, it's good to be repping the club elsewhere as well.
Exactly, and good to see you doing nice work elsewhere as well. Rick Kuznetsov, what's next for you as far as the sim racing is concerned, mate? Obviously, we'll see you next Wednesday night, but anything before that?
Not sure about this season. I haven't decided to do anything else.
Okay.
Maybe next season I might do GT3 with Porsche as well, or maybe go V8s, but I'm not quite sure yet. But Porsche alone is keeping me on my toes, so we'll see how we go.
Indeed. And Luke Turner, anything else in the next week, or are you all eyes on next Wednesday?
All eyes on next Monday, mate.
Next Monday, GT3, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Paul Mansell and I are like a point apart, and we've been having lots of cracking races. So that's where my practice miles are going to be.
I was going to say that was a good run on Monday night too, if memory serves.
Yeah, we had a great run. But he passed me in the pits. I'm still not sleeping because of it.
That's right. Yes, thanks for the memory joke. Nick, sorry, who was going to chime in there? No one? Okay, I'll continue on. Nick, I'll go to you. Listening to the summary of all that, yes, there are a few drivers that had the red mist on tonight. That's not surprising. We didn't hear from Jeff Connor. We didn't hear from Michael Hammond. That's definitely not surprising. But at least this circuit's done, and now they've just got to push this to the back of their mind, focus on Phillip Island.
Yeah, Phillip Island, it's going to be interesting, very fast, very flowing. 2 real brake zones and braking out maneuvering out passing opportunities. GT4 TCR should be good. TCR's actually I reckon will be a lot closer because of the higher average speeds of the corners.
Correct.
Yeah, and the Porsches, if this was carnage tonight, I dare say you're going to see a repeat of it next Wednesday.
Indeed. All right, driver of the night as far as you're concerned, Nick. If it was me, I'd be giving 1 vote to Angus Cook for a clean race and finishing in the top 5, but then 1 vote obviously to Rick Kuznetsov because that was superb.
Yeah, look, if we were to look at it as a whole, you'd have to give it to Angus Cook. He's been the best performer of the whole night.
Yeah.
Outstanding job from Rick. but Angus, what did he get? First in TCR. Oh, sorry, no, second in TCR. My apologies.
Yep.
But he was right up there for a fair bit of the
Correct.
race, and he even got the third in the Porsche race then. So, as a balance thing, I'd have to give it to Angus. As an individual thing, I'd have to give it to Rick for that outstanding performance in that last race.
Absolutely, it was fantastic. 8 positions gained for Angus and Dave Trevathan in that race just gone, 7 for Daniel Birchnell and 8 for Joe Baldwin. So no one moved up any higher than 8 positions tonight, and that was a good run from Joe to get up into 14th. Obviously, he's already gone off to have some dinner. Would have loved to have had a bit more of a chat with Jackson Rahana, get his thoughts on Friday night. We've already got Brenton's thoughts on Friday night, but obviously Phillip Island now, mate, becomes the focus as far as Wednesday night is concerned. I think the Porsches are going to be a little bit of a challenge around there, similar to what they were here, but in a different kind of way, because the fact is we haven't had an official race as far as the club's concerned there in these cars, and it's a pivotal point of the championship. Everyone's going to be looking at the margins next week and working out where they need to be to set themselves up for that double points round.
Oh, even just the track itself, there's 2 long brake zones, large brake zones. Even turn 1, if you've got too much front brake bias, you're going straight ahead instead of turning around the corner. So more action to be had.
Brenton, your thoughts?
Should be interesting, should be good. It is one of those recipe for disaster type tracks when you got huge speed and 2 big stops and cars that don't stop. So that could be interesting, but it's the first time I've gone to a track twice in this car. We did go there for the preseason race, which I won. I'm going to say something that's going to probably come back to bite me now.
Here we go.
I'm yet to be beaten in this car ever. And it's the first time I'm coming back to a track that I've raced at once before. So I feel like everything's set up perfectly for failure, especially now that I've said that. So
you got to take a chance.
That's right. I'll be keen to try and wrap one up again, given that I've got a little bit of experience there. But I mean, it's Phillip Island. Everyone races at Phillip Island, so the competition will rise, no doubt, like it usually does at the Australian tracks. So it'll be difficult to get one on the board, but I'll have a little bit of confidence knowing that I've done it there once before.
I was going to say, if we don't get the numbers back in 2 weeks' time, Nick, there's actually a real possibility of being able to combine the 2 splits for the Bathurst race, because the numbers over the last couple of weeks only about there's one of the incidents that we saw that was Jackson ended up on his lid. We didn't actually catch the tail end of that, but that was what Jackson was referring to with Jaden Schmidt there that you just saw on your screen. But I think the pro split tonight, we only had 23 drivers. We had 1 race admin, and then we had 34 or 35, so that's 58 at max. So when you look at it, a field of 62 is the capacity for Bathurst. There could be, similar to what we see with the Pro-Am split and the Pro split in GTs, there could be a combined grid for the last round. What do you reckon?
Possibly. It's not my series, so it's not my call, but it's a big possibility. Could happen.
Indeed. Hey, actually, on that note, big thanks to Dylan Gray and also to his dad for stepping in for race control duties tonight with Paul Nichols' internet going down. Internet was a talking point tonight. A few drivers dropping out as the evening went on, and we've all had our own tech glitches here in the broadcast booth as well. But thankfully, we got to the end. Brenton Hobson pushed for about 2/3 of the race there from Rick Kuznetsov. The pressure was being applied from Brenton in the closing stages, and Rick obviously just unable to go through in the end. But as we said, there wasn't contact between the two. It was just catching the wrong part of the turf there, and a bump in the circuit, and it sent him spinning. And obviously Brenton had nowhere to go. But in the end, no damage done, and they were able to get back. Actually, that was the question I was going to ask you, Brenton. Did you make? Obviously, you were right there, nowhere to go. Did you make contact with Rick there on once he'd spun, and did that compromise you in the closing laps, or was there no damage?
Well, that was definitely speculation in my stream at the time. I definitely hit him after he sort of spun and was like awkwardly perched at Huff, maybe going to catch it, but I had the overspeed and was locked up and just got him in the rear corner at that point. So I finished the job off, I guess, for his spin, but then we were just sort of stuck together coming all the way through the gravel. I was in his door all the way across the gravel trap too. So I was concerned about the front of the car because obviously I can't see it. And for about the first 2 or 3 laps after that contact, he was reeling me in. I thought for sure I had damage, but I think the placebo effect might have come into it because all of a sudden towards the end it leveled out again. So I don't actually know that there was any damage, but at the time I thought for sure maybe there was. So interesting how that one played out.
What about you, Rick? Did you have any damage as a result of all of that?
No, I don't think I had any damage. The car felt alright after the incident.
Both got very lucky in that case, considering the carnage that unfolded around you tonight. We were all a little bit. We had our heart in our mouth, just waiting to see what the outcome of that was. But no, you both got back on the circuit. Brenton was the leader. Rick fought back to second. It was a brilliant race. Really good stuff. Really entertaining. Michael Hammond winning the first race. Richard Hunter winning TCR within that race. Of course, the Hump Day Pilot Series. Second race won by Brenton Hobson from Rick Kuznetsov and John Merritt. Let's not underestimate Merritt's performance tonight as well. Held off a hard-charging Angus Cook there. Jeff Connell did well to fight back to get fifth, but got caught up in a couple of incidents, and one, of course, was his own fault. He spun himself around, but, frustrating night at the office. But our maths would suggest that he'll still lead the championship, but it's getting tight between him and Brenton. All right, we're done on that note. Thank you, as always, to the drivers for stepping in to have a chat to us post-race here. Brenton Hobson, Luke Turner and Rick Kuznetsov, who stuck around right to the very end. And, of course, Jackson Ray Hunter, Angus Cook and the others, Paul Wood, Joe Baldwin, that come in and had a chat to us as well. Thanks to all the guys in race control. And thanks to all of our great sponsors, Stone Cold Racing, Simple Sim Computers, Racecraft, Oculair, Flash Graphics, LJ Hooker Gaindar and Central Coast Subaru. Let's look ahead for you as far as SimShed Broadcasting and the Gentleman Sim Racing Club is concerned. Friday night we turn our attention to what's happening with the triple header. The production cars and the supercars will be at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, so we stay in Europe as far as that's concerned. We head back to Europe, but obviously we've been in Europe this week twice already, so we stay in Europe as far as the week is concerned. The exception will be stock cars and ARCA cars from Watkins Glen on the Cup configuration, and looking forward to that immensely. Monday night, we go back to the United States for the GT3 series. We haven't been to the States for a while. Looking forward to this race, Sonoma Raceway. Looking forward to that immensely. Intro to Wings before it. Intro to Wings on the shorter configuration, and of course on the longer configuration for the GT3. So that will be a belter of a night of entertainment. Dennis Gaderick still leading the championship and probably not going to be on the grid, so it's going to be nice and tight between the top four when we get to Mount Panorama for the final double points affair. And then, of course, next Wednesday night, make sure you come back and join us. The ongoing coverage from what will be a compelling ninth and penultimate round for the Hump Day Pilot Series and also the Racecraft Porsche Elite GT3 Cup, and that is coming to you from Phillip Island in Victoria. So we do some continent hopping over the next week, but looking forward to it immensely. And then all roads lead to Mount Panorama, with the exception of the Intro to Wings, which is a member vote with the to-be-confirmed venue, and also the stock cars. Everything else will be at Mount Panorama in that last week of the season, the last week of November. Looking forward to it immensely. In the meantime, thank you very much, Nico Pop, for your expert comments tonight. I know the first race was a little bit frustrating, but in the end, we've had a very entertaining night and a Porsche race that probably deserved a little bit more dissecting than what it got, but we're all a little bit tired and we're all a little bit worn out. It's been a big night.
Has been a big one.
State of Origin, depressingly so. We're off to a decider, so it'll be good for Channel 9's ratings. 34-10, New South Wales getting the job done over Queensland in Game 2. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight. On behalf of the entire broadcast team here from the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, I'm Zach Cabe, and we look forward to your company on Friday night when we do it all again. As round 8 continues and winds down. After that, there'll be just 14 races left over 2 big weeks. With 4 down for this week, 3 still to come, 17 left for the season. We're fast running out of time. We're fast getting towards the end of the year and champions being crowned. On behalf of all the crew here, thanks for your company tonight. Look forward to seeing you on Friday. Until then, good night.